Okay, guys, can you hear me now? Can anyone hear me? Yes, okay, I got one yes. So I assume, can you hear the vocals right now? I think, okay, all good. I think the problem was, well, I don't know what the problem was, but apparently the solution was a very simple turn it off and turn it back on again. And that's what I had to do with my microphone, and apparently that worked. Okay, so let me send out another quick notice and let everybody know that the microphone is working again. Okay. I was getting scared there for a minute. I was like, oh, shit. That's, I mean, worst comes to worst, I just would use my laptop microphone and not my good microphone, but it would sound like shit. Okay, so how y'all doing? It's the night before St. Patrick's Day. Obviously, I'm kind of getting all ready for it myself. Actually, before we get started with Saturday night's main event and Clash of Champions, I'm going to be doing some pre-gaming for St. Patrick's Day. What I have here is a nice glass of hot chocolate, which is perfect because the weather around here has been super, super cold. And I like to mix hot chocolate with Fireball whiskey. So I'm going to be doing some pre-gaming here. Just get that off. All right. And I've got my lovely little Harley Quinn shot glass to help me measure the shot that's going to go in the hot cocoa. All right. Because honestly, like, of all the comic book characters out there, is there anyone you'd rather get drunk with than Harley Quinn? I mean, come on. It's awesome. Go pour that in. Mix her up. And now I got myself a nice spiked glass of hot cocoa. And oh boy, is that good. That is so good. I highly recommend this. I would even like consider like putting a touch of cinnamon in it, because that would be even better. Like, oh my goodness. So aside from watching me get drunk off of hot chocolate, how's everybody doing tonight? Happy 316 Day. Yes, it is 316 Day. I always kind of liked. You got Pi Day, which is 314. You got the Ides of March for all you Shakespeare scholars out there who read Julius Caesar in your freshman year of high school, like I did. That's 315. Then you got Austin 316 Day, which is 316. Then you got St. Patrick's Day, which is tomorrow. And I'm like, that's a nice little group of days there. That is some good shit right there. Yes, indeed. How does it feel to have a holiday named after yourself? I'm actually named after the holiday. When my parents realized I was going to be born around St. Patrick's Day, I was a cesarean birth. Actually, me and all three of my siblings were all cesarean births. So they had to schedule it. And they tried to get my birthday scheduled on St. Patrick's Day, but they were too full. So they had to push it back to the 20th. Okay. You should play some sort of drinking game with these shows. That could get dangerous. That could get really dangerous. I didn't plan on one. Maybe like I might do that. But that sounds like a great idea. A terrible idea, but a great idea at the same time. So maybe I'll think of something to do in future episodes. Patrick316 says I'm drunk off my ass. Not yet. I haven't even. Come on, it's my first drink. But okay, so tonight what I have in store for you guys, we've got Clash of Champions number 4, the first episode from 1986. So we're whole new year, whole new start for the WWE. And I referenced this match last week. I didn't realize it was the very next episode. But the big feature match on this show is Hulk Hogan defending the WWE Championship, then WWF Championship, against Terry Funk, which is such a unique pairing and such an odd match. Like, you wouldn't expect those two to cross paths, but they did, and it was the feature match of a Saturday night's main event. Let's see. This show took place on Saturday, January 4th, 1986, so it's right after New Year's. And this is the description that's on the network. Hulk Hogan defends the WWF Championship against Terry Funk, as I said, and the Junkyard Dog and Ricky Steamboat face Mr. Fuji and the Magnificent Morocco. Obviously, a carryover from the previous episode in that Kung Fu match. But if you're all ready, I mean, I'm liquored up now, so I might as well just get started. So I'm going to click play, and here we go. Empowered. What the hell does that mean? What is that an advertisement for? I don't even know. January 4th is Pro Wrestling Day. Yeah, it is for it is in Japan anyway. Ooh, we're in Florida tonight. Last week we had Clash of Champions, which was what the hell? Okay, I make protein shakes now as part of my workout, and this is hilarious to me to watch this because this feels like overkill, but obviously I'm not as big as Hulk Hogan. But I also wasn't gassing, so, you know. Oh, Gene's going to puke that up like nobody's business. Is he having a seizure? Okay, that's not how protein shakes work. You don't drink it and ultimately and instantly become big. It's like you got to work out to go with it. We got the Hillbillies. Roddy Piper is spying on them for some reason. Taking their yearly bath. That's.
After tonight, hopefully the humpback will come out of the jaw.
Okay, another big match on this show is Roddy Piper and Jesse Ventura take on the Hillbillies. Uncle Elmer, Cousin Luke, and Hillbilly Jim. WWE Hall of Fame inductee, Hillbilly Jim. And, oh, there's Randy Savage. He's in the video package for the intro now. He's an important part of the show. But, yeah, that match has been built up since episode 2 of Saturday Night's Main Event when Jesse Ventura and Roddy Piper pulled some shenanigans at Uncle Elmer's wedding. So we're getting the burn-off match, you could say. Hi, Vince. No, Saturday Night's Main Events were taped. They were indeed taped, yes. And that actually comes into play in 1990, I believe, when one episode of Saturday Night's Main Event had to be turned into an episode of The Main Event, which was the Saturday night or the Friday night specials that they would do. You got a dragon and a dog teaming up. What Spawn poster? I don't have a Spawn poster. I have a Universal Monster poster, and I've got 2 Godzilla posters, but it's not Spawn. I got those at AwesomeCon a couple years ago. Oh, we got George the Animal Steele versus Randy Savage. That'll be nice. Made you look. Yeah, you did make me look. Good on you. Cousin Mud Pie? I'm the promoter, damn it. I was going to tell everyone about that match. This must have started the build for Steele and Savage at Mania 2. Yeah, it's one of the... I assume that the build probably already started at this point. We're just kind of... going to go along the way. They would actually have a few more matches at Saturday night's main event as well. Decent storyline, and it would actually play into the Steamboat and Savage feud heading into 87 and the WrestleMania 3 build-up. Yes, Jesse Ventura's the biased one, Vince. He's the only biased commentator in the WWF circa 1986. The only one. You and Monsoon totally don't lick the assholes of the baby faces. Totally don't. You're not biased at all. It's amazing. Oh, Bobby Heenan's doing commentary? Win. This episode's an instant win. A. It gets an A right away because Bobby Heenan's doing commentary. Right? Bobby Heenan and Vince at the booth. This will be great. Piper promo. Gotta love a Piper promo. Okay, seriously, because Piper said it, who eats pig's feet? Is there anyone? I've seen them in stores, and I'm like, who the fuck eats pig's feet? Pig's feet. Is that a thing that people actually eat? Did you ever try to get a ticket to NXT in Baltimore? No, I forgot. Thanks for reminding me. I might, I get paid. Actually, I just got paid yesterday. So, yeah, I might, right after I'm done here, I might just go on and buy my ticket. Southern people eat pig's feet? Somebody does, because I see them in stores, but this is so weird to see Jesse Ventura in a match, because as a kid, I just associated him with the booth. Like, I just thought of him as a commentator. Like, I rarely ever saw him actually wrestle. I think I can count on one hand the number of Jesse Ventura matches I've seen, which, from what I've heard, that's not, like, I've heard he's not the best worker in the world, so it's actually not a bad thing. My dad ate pig stew as a kid and all sorts of pig's organs. Does that count? I guess that's, I don't know, worse. Pig organs? Hillbilly Jim, WWE Hall of Famer. Or he will be April 6th, I think, is when the Hall of Fame is. I love hearing those bagpipes for Roddy's entrance. Yeah, it's great, isn't it? His babyface theme was better. Like, I liked his babyface theme more, but, like, it's just something about the bagpipes and Piper. It just fits perfectly. Never seen anyone eat pig's feet. Yeah, I never have either. And once again, we get a generic hillbilly theme instead of "Don't Go Messing with a Country Boy," which is a great theme. It's a great theme song, but no, we can't have it because reasons. So we just get see, it sounds like it's coming from a friggin' fiddle, so yay. It's a hillbilly theme, guys. It's not "Don't go messing with a country boy, country boy, country boy. Don't go messing with a country boy, don't mess with a country boy." Come on, give us the goddamn music, for fuck's sake. We better get it for the Hall of Fame. Pig's feet. We better get pig's feet for the Hall of Fame. That'd be nice. That'd be interesting. And we're starting off with Jesse Ventura and Uncle Elmer, the guy who got a 12-second victory last week. Or, well, in the last episode of Saturday Night's Main Event that I saw. He's a sexual Tyrannosaurus. It's a little weird to see the crowd, like, cheering against Jesse because the crowd typically love Jesse. Because he was like the voice of like 80s WWF, and people just loved him, even though he was clearly a heel. Ventura is getting beat up, getting pounded. Thank you. Greatly appreciated. Yeah, I'll definitely... is there any word on what the card is for the NXT Baltimore show? Here comes Piper, my man. There you go. He's the guy, literally, okay, Hillbilly Jim just tagged out. We got Cousin Luke, not the Bushwhacker. Oh, no, Uncle Elmer just tagged in, I think. Nope, Luke's staying in. Oh, no. Okay, I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of pulling for the heels here. Come on, Piper. Now we got the ace, the cowboy in there. Luke is down.
Healing injury, I think, of all time in the World Wrestling Federation. Look at this now. Piper with a shot right up under the throat.
Okay, now who is Cousin Luke? Because I have no idea who he is, and I don't recall. He doesn't look familiar to me beyond like who is that?
That's the way he operates. Why he's a winner. But Cousin Luke. Luke now over in the not so friendly corner. Is Cowboy Bob Orton back wide open. Luke trying to find his way back to his corner. Puts his way out of there.
The heels are making some quick tags. Keep Luke isolated, you know, double team, triple team. See, Heenan's right. He's too dumb to get back to the corner. That's the Hillbilly. Like, Cousin Luke is barefoot. Why is he barefoot? Forget to wear shoes? That's dumb. Oh, look at Piper, just being a dick. I love Dick Piper. Dickhead Piper is great. He tagged in just so he could do an eye poke, and now he's like tagging out. That's great. Luke Harper, Luke Bushwhacker, Cousin Luke, Luke Skywalker. What's with all the Lukes? Hey, it's a great name. Use it. If you got a great name, use it. It's like an Attitude Era WWF where there were so many Steves, like Steve Austin, Steve Blackman, and then they had Lord Steven Regal, whose name they changed to William Regal because they thought they had too many Steves. Where's Luke? I don't know. Well, you got to clone the Hillbilly to get Luke. Jake Owens, are you planning to attend WrestleMania next year at MetLife Stadium? Is it going to be in MetLife? I haven't heard the announcement. Is WrestleMania 35 going to be in MetLife? Now I got Piper and Uncle Elmer going at it. This is the most excited a crowd has ever been for an Uncle Elmer match. Elmer's got a bear hug. Piper is in trouble. Confirmed this morning. Okay, I'll look into it. I don't know, and now we got a melee. All 6 men are in there. A lot of times back in these days, that would result in a double disqualification. Now it's like common. Yeah, the Hillbillies cleaned house, and Piper's calling a timeout, which doesn't exist in wrestling. So why is he doing it? Because he's a heel and he's a chicken. That's what that means. All right, this is weird. The ring is set up. The blue rope, because back in those days they would have the red, white, and blue ropes. The blue rope is on top and the red rope is on the bottom when it should be. Typically it was switched, and it looks. My eyes aren't used to it yet. It's weird.
He warned me that you'd be like this. He warned me how you feel about him, how you're biased, one-sided. Look at this. Talk about one-sided. Piper in there now. Series of headbutts setting up Hillbilly.
Hillbilly Jim is no selling some headbutts from Piper. I mean, I I wouldn't headbutt Hillbilly Jim. That seems like a bad idea. Like, come on. He's as dumb as a post. What good is that going to do?
Reaching for it. Just inches away, and Piper's going to be just slapping.
So they're trying to make it look like the French flag, right? Right? Frenchie Martin would love this setup. Not really. No, he was French Canadian. That was his gimmick, but still, whatever. Okay, I gotta say, Ventura's tights are gaudy as hell. Those are hideous. And they're like, I mean, those tights are on par with like the pants Undertaker was wearing at Survivor Series 2000. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, look up a picture of it. It's what Undertaker was wearing that night was like, oh my God, dude. Like, no one stopped you? Seriously? NXT's debut at the Garden, perhaps next year during Mania Weekend. That would be cool. Well, yeah, NXT at the Garden, that'd be awesome. I would love to watch a show at the Garden. That'd be great. Piper's got a sleeper on Cousin Luke. Did Hillbilly Jim just hit a dropkick or what? Undertaker was wearing some really ugly pants, Survivor Series 2000. And once again, we have a melee. Anyway, Survivor Series 2000, and he was working Kurt Angle for the WWF title. And Cousin Luke is out. The heels win. Piper, Ventura, and Orton win it. I'm a dick. The guys that ruined the wedding won, and I'm happy. But, you know, a wedding shouldn't be taking up time on a wrestling show anyway, so meh. Okay, they're doing... Okay, TakeOver's going to be in Brooklyn. Okay. How is it a cheap victory, Vince? Oh, yeah. The cast.
Well, I just hope I did my job in commentating as good as Jesse did in the ring. Congratulations. Thank you, Bobby Heenan.
Is Ventura going to commentate now, even though he just had a match?
Outstanding in the ring, and I know, Bobby, that you were no less than perfect right here on the microphone. Was there any future for you two, maybe in a tag team combination or something like that? Well, I'll tell you
Well,
what, you better...
Bobby doesn't wrestle, so no.
I'm sure Bobby Heenan did so good. You better watch out. You might end up in the unemployment line. I'd love to see you, McMahon, humble you down about 6 months in unemployment.
Yes, Vince McMahon is going to be unemployed. Again, it's like, it's so weird. Like in the 80s, the guys used to fuck with Vince so much. And I don't know how much of it was like scripted and how much of it was put on or how much of it was just Jesse just being like, you know what, fuck you. Junkyard Dog and Jimmy Hart in a slide contest?
You thought everybody saw it. Now I cannot wrestle the Junkyard Dog, but hey, there's one contest I know I can do with it. And the Junkyard Dog agreed with this contest. And when it's over with, I'm gonna prove to everybody that I'm a better man than the Junkyard Dog.
By sliding down a slide? Okay, this is weird. They're literally just having a slide contest. And Jimmy Hart does not know how a slide works, apparently.
Jimmy Hart had a friction problem wearing this shoe, and whoever was running that gate up there gave the Junkyard Dog a 2-second head start. Well, Terry, you don't really look like the beach type to me. What are you doing here? Tonight, after I...
Well, you're not at the beach, you're at a swimming pool, so...
All the national press will be taking my picture, and I want a great hand for the cover...
I'm gonna be the champion, god damn it, because I'm the motherfucking funker. God damn you, you dog, you dog fucking brainless asshole. I'm Terry Funk. Fuck you.
That's a promise. You understand, Ventura? Yes. Well, Sports Illustrated, you've been warned. And if you
Could you imagine that? Terry Funk is the WWE champion.
Thank you, Jesse. Gorilla Monsoon here with a special.
I have heard the shitstorm with the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal. It's kind of hilarious. I mean, I don't know if the things that they've said about Moolah are true. I don't really know. I mean, a lot of people have said things, so it seems to me like it's likely to be true. But if these stories were out there, I wonder why WWE thought it was a good idea to, you know, feature her in a battle royal. But a slide contest? It's like Russo booking before there was Russo, right? Whenever I see pole matches in like the 80s, I'm like, man, damn. It's like Russo is retroactively like time traveling. Oh, Hogan got branded by Terry Funk. Like, okay, if he was actually branding Hogan, he would have that burn for life. It's like he's really just stamping him, really. Funk as WWE champion is one of those things that would have only been possible in video games, right? And even then, like, was Funk in any, like, WWF video games? I can't think of any. Create a wrestler, you know, later on, you could have added him in.
Saturday night's main event. I got a special surprise for you, If you can dig it, man, that junkyard dog is
Oh, the JYD is going to be in Funk's corner, or in Hogan's corner. I believe Terry Funk was in SmackDown versus Raw 2006. I wouldn't know. I don't play the SmackDown games. I didn't play the SmackDown games, so I'll take your word for it. Okay, here we are. WWF Championship match. Hulk Hogan versus Terry Funk. One of the more unique pairings to ever happen on this show. It's one of those matches, like you think, like, yeah, that's an interesting and cool match to do, but I can't picture it happening. But it did. Saturday night's main event. Hulk Hogan wearing blue, not his traditional yellow. Yeah, back in the mid 80s, he used to like be a little bit more variety with his colors. He would be white, he'd be blue, he'd be yellow, he'd be red. I love that graphic for the Hulkster. It's just the red, white, and blue. That looks nice. Okay, here we go. This is really the main event of the show right here. I mean, this is the feature match. Hogan is foreshadowing the Blue World Order. Yeah. Okay, the Blue World Order, I never liked them. I mean, I like the individual talents, okay? I always like Nova, and I like Stevie Richards. And Blue Meanie could be funny if given the right material, but, like, the idea of the BWO, I never thought that was funny. I just didn't see, well, like, they did it, and it was like, yeah, fuck WCW, and I was just kind of like, it's not funny. Like, what? I don't get it. It's like, okay, you did a parody of the NWO. That's all right. I mean, okay, you're essentially on par with Gilbert. I love that Terry Funk was calling himself middle-aged and crazy even back then. Oh, Terry lost his balance. And over the top rope he goes. What did you think of Nova playing the Simon Dean character? I love the Simon Dean character. I thought it was great. It was one of those occupation gimmicks that typically don't work. But that one worked for me because it's like, okay, you look at some of these characters like, why is a dentist a wrestler? Why is a plumber a wrestler? But with this guy, the fitness guru idea, he's got a product to sell. He's selling the Simon system, and he's using the WWF as a stage, or the WWE as a stage to sell his product. So it made sense, and I was like, okay, I can dig this. And personally, I thought he should have been like the New Age Honky Tonk Man, which is just like this kind of comedy villain that could get a lot of heat. And, you know, they could have given him like the IC title or something, but they didn't. He never raised above like glorified jobber, which is a shame because I thought he was great. But Hulk Hogan is kicking Funk's ass right now. You mean to tell me that Duke the Dumpster Droese wouldn't work as a wrestler? I mean, he could if they gave us a reason for why he's a wrestler. It's like, why is the Trash Man also a wrestler? Like, explain it. Like, is he, like, trying to provide for his family so he works as a trash man on the weekends or something? Like, but he really has this dream of being, like, a world-class professional wrestler for the WWF? Is that why he's doing it? I don't know. Terry just threw a chair into the ring, and Hogan sat on it and, like, taunted him a little bit. So, and it wasn't like a traditional steel chair. It was like one of those, like, regular, like a chair. Like, you would see it like a bowling alley or something. Hogan is pummeling Funk in the corner. Oh, Funk does the Ric Flair flip in the corner. Snapmare into the ring. Hogan's controlling this shit. Back suplex by Hogan. Dream match, Isaac Yankem versus Kane. Yeah, right. Right up there with Dude Love versus Cactus Jack. What was the worst part-time job gimmick from the 90s that you remember? The evil plumber was like TL Hopper. That one was pretty bad. That was just like, that was beyond stupid. Funk is taking control. And now Funk is climbing to the top. Hogan shakes him off and crotches him. Now an atomic drop by Hogan. Huge clothesline by Hogan. Elbow drop by Hogan. Yeah, look up the evil plumber. He didn't last long. Shockingly, right? Oh, Jimmy just hooked the leg. Oh, he hooked Hogan's leg. And Jimmy can't run away from both the dog and Hulk Hogan. You just can't. Does Terry have a foreign object? Oh, he's wrapping tape around Hogan's neck. Imagine nowadays if they did an evil electrician, right? Yeah. Evil exterminator. Evil yard worker. Landscaper. Okay, Jimmy Hart's got the referee distracted, so he hasn't caught Funk, like, choking out Hogan yet. Who would have thought at this point, years later, Jimmy Hart would manage Hogan? Yeah, it was pile driver by Terry. Oh! Hogan's down. 1, 2. Hogan rolls the shoulder up barely. Evil janitor, yeah.
I'm not too sure about that. He was slow. He hesitated. Boy, was that ever close. That's the closest I've ever seen. Hulk Hogan coming to being pinned, and Terry Funk is now really going to take advantage. Look at that.
Ooh. Terry's beating the crap out of Hogan. I think Terry Funk's going to win the title, guys. I think this is going to happen. Up. Nope. Nope. He's hulking up. And here comes Hogan. Elbow smash. Big boot by Hogan, and Funk goes out of the ring. Evil school principal. Well, there was an evil teacher. Oh my God. Jimmy just tripped up Hogan on a suplex. They almost did like the WrestleMania 5, like Rude and Warrior finish. Terry's arguing with the referee. He thought he had Hogan, but Hogan had his foot on the rope, so. Boom! Clothesline. Axe bomber for you. Hogan wins it. Hogan wins it off an axe bomber. That was a good match. I enjoyed that. Good match. Unique pairing. It's not a common match you would see. Good fun match. Terry Funk is pissed at the referee. He's dragging the referee all across the announce table. Hogan's 5 moves of doom. Yeah. You know, in the mid-'80s, like in 85, 86, he didn't do like 3 punches, big boot, leg drop. It wasn't like down to a sequence yet. He would actually do like different things. Like here, he won with a clothesline. So, and Funk is just throwing chairs in the ring. Precursor to ECW, I think. That's Dave Hebner as the referee, I believe. Okay, we saw Hogan defend the title. We can go to bed now. I kid. Warrior versus Rude at WrestleMania was one of WrestleMania's underrated gems. I agree. That was a good match. That was a real good match. The crowd was super hot for it too. And Terry Funk is dragging like an unconscious Jimmy Hart across like the entrance ramp. Yeah, JYD headbutted Hart. Is Hogan wearing green? No, Hogan is wearing blue. Are you sure that isn't Earl and not Dave? I'm assuming it's Dave because he was the referee first. So I'm assuming it's Dave.
You know, Terry Funk, why don't you drag off that dead manager of yours, you know? But you know what, boy? I ain't had enough. Come on back, Funk. All right. Hulk Hogan took out.
That sounded very Cena-esque of you, Hogan.
JYD, you did a nice job of keeping an eye on the Jimmy mouth of the South Park. They don't call me giving it all for nothing. All right.
Man, if Hogan did all the colors of the rainbow, it'd be such a Cena move, right? Right? Has Cena gotten through all the colors of the rainbow yet? I feel like if he hasn't, he's dangerously close. Okay, we actually saw George the Animal Steele at the zoo. We saw this in last week's episode where we watched the 3rd episode of Saturday Night's Main Event. I don't think Cena's done Indigo or Violet yet. George the Animal Steele in a swimming pool with a bunch of women in bikinis. That's not an image I ever expected to see. Oh, so this match is going to be, this is George Steele's first match with Randy Savage. So they haven't started the feud with Savage yet. So I'm interested to see how he reacts with Elizabeth. Oh, they've got Liz in a swimsuit. Looks very nice. I mean, it's a one piece, but it still looks great.
He's a little bit different. Just really cool. Macho man, really cool George. The animal, just a little real man, be scared of an animal. Mean person, scared of things. Teach this woman how to swim. Hey,
he's gonna throw Elizabeth in the pool just to show her how to swim. She can't swim. Spousal abuse. That's horrible. That is like, that is almost like attempted murder.
Take a look over Randy's shoulder. There's Elizabeth. She learned how to swim. If you ask me, it was a pretty good lesson. That's really treating your manager with a lot of respect.
Jeez.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Macho Man, he knows how to treat Elizabeth. Look at there. He's sending her up to the ring, sending her up to do his job, and I believe he's been distracted by the crowd. Somebody wants to look at his beautiful body. Elizabeth, holding up. Wait a minute, what's this? Yes, as you said.
Oh, there's George. He's hitting on Liz. Oh. He's hitting on Liz. That's so cute. It's so stupid, but it's so cute. Yeah, he's a great husband. Great husband. Pretty lady. Pretty lady. What was that South Park episode? Utah. Utah. Yeah, the whole Liz and Randy storyline, if you look at it from like start to finish, like was really well done. Very interesting. Okay, I've never seen like the start of the George the Animal Steele Randy Savage feud. So this is actually like, I've never seen like George's first reaction to Liz. So it's actually good to get to see this. This is cool. And by the way, I did enjoy their match at WrestleMania too. I thought it was a hoot. That's one of those matches that, you know, the star ratings nuts are going to give it like a 1.5 or like at the highest 2 stars. But I was like, dude, I thought that match was a barrel of monkeys. I thought it was great. I thought it was a lot of fun. Here we go. See, Randy, like, I don't know what to do with this. Like, they're literally putting me in there with an animal. I have no idea what to do with this guy. What's this? Like, what is that? I've never seen an animal do that. I thought Savage versus Steele was the best match at Mania 2. That's your prerogative, and yeah, sure. I thought it told a really good story. I thought the build-up was good. And Savage goes sailing out of the ring. Run, Randy. Oh, George is distracted again. I mean, that sequin dress she's wearing is really cute. I'm just saying. If I was Savage, I would hit a low blow and get out of there. You know what? I'd be tempted to do that too. It's like, this guy eats turnbuckle pads for Christ's sake. I'm just going to like end this as fast as possible and get the hell out. Okay, Savage, finally. cat and mouse, picked a spot. Savage has got Steele down in the corner. Here comes the animal. And he kicks Randy out of the ring. Now they're both out of the ring. Yeah, this feels like a prelude to their Mania 2 match. Yeah. And Albano's like trying to get control of Steele. It's like, you can't. He put Liz in front of him. Oh, he doesn't want to hurt her. Aw. I wonder how Randy felt about this, like George Steele like hitting on Liz as part of the storyline, because notoriously, like Randy was wound so tight. Body slam, and now George is eating the turnbuckle pad, which is one of the coolest wrestler trademarks ever, by the way. That is like, I mean, that's his forever. It's like, you can't like, no one's tried to imitate it that I'm aware of. It's like, that's just his. Savage was a great heel. I mean, he's an awesome babyface, but he's a great heel too. He's one of the few guys that if you asked me which was he better as, a heel or a face, I couldn't tell you because I could go either way. Oh, double axe handle by Savage. Savage gets the win. I think George was under the rope though. And Savage is just carrying Elizabeth and getting the hell out of there. Albano's all like, dude. Aw, poor George. Not happy. But I think he's got a heart on, which, you know, when you get a heart on, you do stupid things. And George did some stupid things here. Okay, next up, the year in review. So I'm assuming we're going to get a highlight package of 1985. Wonder why in the storyline Elizabeth didn't go with George. Are you serious? Like, look at him. He can't even speak. He's got hair all over him. Savage versus AJ Styles. I'd have loved to see that. Savage in his prime. Yeah. Savage versus Punk would have been interesting too. That was... Okay, so far this 1985 video package, it's all Hogan. It's literally all Hogan. And actually, a lot of it is coming from, like, Saturday Night's Main Events. Okay. Okay, now we're getting some more. We got JYD, we got Andre, we got Orndorff. There's Cheeky Baby. Oh, yeah. WrestleMania highlights. Okay. Speaking of music videos, I know that... I think next episode of Saturday Night's Main Event has the Real American music video, the famous Hulk Hogan Real American music video, and Pile Driver. That one comes up at some point. So, cool beans. Savage versus Black Machismo, Jay Lethal. I'd rather see them team up. I love Savage in the first Spider-Man movie. Yes, yes, Bonesaw. Bonesaw is ready. Yeah, the funniest thing about Savage in that movie, I did not know that Savage was in that movie, but my sister did. So when we went to go see it, she was like, I'm going to stay completely quiet and just let Patrick mark out. And then when I saw the elbow drop, I was like, holy shit, is that Savage? And then when I saw it was Savage, I just marked the fuck out, like right there in the movie theater. Oh, look, there's a clip of Moolah. Should they cut that out? Should they cut out the Moolah highlights? There's way too much Moolah in this video package. I got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of Playtime. I'm a little surprised that Wendy Richter is in this video because this was right after, I believe this was right after the screw job where Moolah shot on her and won the women's title when that was not the plan. Getting that Piper Orndorff match again. Some highlights of that. Woo! I almost feel like they pulled all these clips from like 4 shows. It's like, all right, we got the first 3 Saturday night's main events. We got WrestleMania, and maybe we'll throw in a little bit of War to Settle the Score, maybe. Greg Valentine and Brutus Beefcake with the tag titles, the Dream Team. Underrated tag team. I thought Beefcake and Valentine worked well with each other. Did you hear about WWE getting rid of the Moolah Battle Royal? Well, they didn't get rid of the Battle Royal. They just took her name off it. Why was the cage match in Spider-Man called a cage match when it had a roof? Even as a kid, I thought it should have been called a cell match. Well, I guess, like, depending on the promotion, like a steel cage match is whatever they want it to be. It was the weirdest cage I've ever seen because it had, like, the, it would, like, lower from the roof and would, like, close down in this weird way. So it started off like a flat structure, and then it would kind of fold inward to do the 4 walls. And then you couldn't climb the, well, Spider-Man couldn't because he's Spider-Man, but, like, the cage looked unclimbable. So it was just like these big metal bars. Chin Min! Yeah, she kept these like weird names for people like Chin Min and the JDD. He called JYD JDD apparently.
I'm sorry we're out of time. Right now we're going to go to Jesse the Body.
Corporal Kirchner. Hey kids, you want to watch like the shitty version of Sergeant Slaughter? You can watch Corporal Kirchner.
So, because of your training, you feel your best, Volkoff. But remember, this is a peace match. Combat techniques will not be allowed. Going up against a Russian strong man, we're not going to need combat tests. We're going to do professional wrestling, man. And the best man is going to win. And I'm going to go in there and search and destroy mission and turn it out of hand.
Okay, so in another like WrestleMania 2 build-up match, we're getting Corporal Kirchner versus Nikolai Volkoff. And these promos of the guys jumping into a pool are really weird. That is the most unnecessarily complicated way to dive into a pool I've ever seen. The flag match at Mania 2 was bad. It was short. It was super, super short. It was like less than 2 minutes long, and they actually, Corporal Kirchner got color. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he bladed, but it was like, okay. I mean, they crammed a lot into those 2 minutes. You got a blade job, you got like some brawling, you got a bunch of stuff, but yeah, I never understood why it was so short. Especially since the women's title match went short, so you would think they'd have extra time. You'd think they'd be stretching for time. Yeah, there was a flag match at WrestleMania 2. It was Corporal Kirchner versus Nikolai Volkoff. I don't think Volkoff ever won a flag match. If he did, I don't remember seeing it. But he was in a lot of them. It's kind of a say. He was kind of like what Kane was to Inferno matches. Although Kane did win at least one. I know he beat MVP in one, but it felt like for the most part, like if you saw an Inferno match with Kane, it's like, well, Kane's losing.
Against Nikolai Volkoff. Volkoff looked like more experience. Kirchner has not been in the WWF all that long. Clean break flag, Nikolai Volkoff. I just the way he said it was going to be. Willing to prove his scientific skills as compared to those.
Which of the 3 Mania 2 arenas would you want to be in? To be in? On that show, I would have wanted to be either the LA show, so I could see Ricky Steamboat and Hulk Hogan, or I would have liked to have been in the Chicago show to see the Battle Royal, because the Battle Royal would have been neat. And the tag match was the best match on the show, so that would have been neat too.
Nice maneuver there into the armbar. Kirchner in control. Volkoff trying to make his way back to his feet now.
What did you think of the Shane O'Mac Kane feud in 2003? It was crazy. They did some crazy shit with each other. Like they almost killed Kane with the ambulance, or not the ambulance, but like they locked him in the limo and Shane like let it ride and crashed it. And they did the bit where he hooked up his nuts to a car battery. And the matches themselves were wild and crazy. So it's like, yeah, overall it was a good feud. They went nuts with it, but it was fun while it lasted. You wouldn't have wanted to see the boxing match in NY. I would have enjoyed it. I enjoyed the boxing match. I know a lot of people shit on that match, and like I think Meltzer gave it like -4 stars or something. It's like I enjoyed it just for Piper being Piper. I enjoyed that match. Got to test the strength here. Who's gonna win it? Does anyone care? Got this Corporal Kirchner. Corporal Kirchner. What is your favorite Survivor Series? Event or match? Nice roll-up by Volkoff. Using some amateur wrestling there to try and pin the Corporal down to the mat. Oh, Corporal Kirchner gets out of that. Nice roll-up by Kirchner. Nope. Couldn't hold Volkoff down. That's the weirdest looking headlock I've ever seen. Event. Favorite Survivor Series event. I really liked 87. I thought that was a really strong show, top to bottom, where they did all the elimination matches, but each one was different. And each one had a different flavor to it. Trying to think. Outside of 87, I really liked 98 just for the storyline between Mick Foley and The Rock and Austin and McMahon and all that. I thought that was a really well-booked show in terms of the storyline and how it developed. A cartwheel by Volkoff? What the fuck? Okay, this match gets points just for having Volkoff do a cartwheel. Do-si-do, hammerlock. Okay, this is actually like a solid match compared to what they did at WrestleMania 2. But I'm trying to think of all the Survivor Series over the years. Yeah, I'll just say 87 or 98 would be my two favorites. Anything after 2000, I'm kind of like my memory's like super fuzzy on. Roll up by Kirchner? No. 2002 was a good show, even though it didn't have any of the traditional Survivor Series matches. I thought 2002 was a really good one, too. Oh! Draped him on the top rope. Volkoff with a knee drop. 1, 2. Volkoff won! Okay. Yes, it was. No, that was a clean win, Vince. I don't know what you're talking about. The heel won cleanly, and Corporal Kirchner's being a dick. God, fuck you, Kirchner. You suck. He loses fair and square, and now he's acting like a crybaby by beating up Sheik and Volkoff for no reason. Guy's a dick. Yeah, I hate that when the face loses fair and square and then like acts like a sore loser. I can't stand that. That was actually a solid match, though. I know, right? I was shocked. I didn't expect him to go over. Well, I guess it makes sense for Volkoff to go over here because you got to give the babyface a journey to get to WrestleMania and ultimately have him go over. Although, does anybody want Corporal Kirchner to go over? Again, he kind of sucks. Okay, now we're watching highlights of the Fuji and Morocco versus Steamboat feud. Steamboat and Morocco had some good matches. Some of them, I think at least one of them is on the Ricky Steamboat DVD. Now we got Don Morocco on a surfboard.
Well, you still have the way with the ladies, but more importantly, Don Morocco and Mr. Fuji, you two have a history in your matches.
Well, back in those days, they didn't have 14 pay-per-views a year or whatever it is now. I think they're up to like 19 and 3-hour shows a week with competitive matches, so they didn't burn through everything so quickly. So back then, they had to have long stories just to stretch this shit out.
Mr. Fuji, what do you do with dogs?
Mr. Fuji,
In my country, we roast dog, live dog, boiled dog, junkyard dog, and have each choice.
Yeah, I've heard that Mr. Fuji does like to cook dogs.
gentlemen, this, there you have it. Two sportsmen showing no signs of changing their style. And going to be very interesting, especially considering that Ricky Steamboat has the junkyard dog as his partner. Vince McMahon, let's go back.
What do you think of the WWE dropping the dual brand pay-per-views and every pay-per-view being both Raw and SmackDown? I mean, they kind of had to because the brand exclusive pay-per-views are just dead. They're just dead air. I mean, theoretically, both brands should be strong enough to support their own pay-per-views, but they're not. So, especially SmackDown. I mean, SmackDown's just a disaster right now. It's just dead, just lifeless show.
The mean gene from Maine to California, from Canada all the way down here to Florida. You said I've been bushwhacked and all that. I've been hung and I've been blasted with a chair. I've been salted. I've had everything done to me.
But there's one thing that those two guys have not done, and that is defeat me in the middle of that ring.
And by the way, I should point out you've got quite a partner at your side tonight.
This is Ricky Steamboat. No, the Dragon didn't show up until 91. See, the Dragon, who is this wrestler who didn't last very long, he only wrestled for them for about a year. But yeah, the Dragon showed up in 91. But that was not Ricky Steamboat. At least we weren't supposed to call him that, Vince. I mean, that year, okay, 91, we got the Dragon, not Ricky Steamboat, the Dragon, and we got Saba Simba, who was clearly Tony Atlas, and I loved Roddy Piper. It's like, that's not Saba Simba, that's Tony Atlas. It's like, Piper, you're a dick, but that's so great that you would do that. God, we get JYD's theme music every single one of these shows, and it's awesome. I love it. I love it. I'm really worried that the mid-card of both shows, since I feel WWE will always put every belt on the line. Yeah, that's the other problem is that, you don't need to have both world titles defended. I mean, they could really use the single pay-per-views for both brands to their advantage by only defending one of the world titles, then building up the other world title feud along the way and having contenders matches for the other brand or something like that, but they're not going to do that. And it's a free-for-all right now. Morocco's beating up on JYD and Steamboat. Fuji's kicking Steamboat's ass. He just slammed him outside the ring. Will you go to WrestleMania 35? Don't know yet. We'll see. Don't know. I enjoyed going to WrestleMania 29, even though the show wasn't that great. I enjoyed the experience, but I don't know if you can recreate that. Back body drop by the dog. You know what? When you... oh, missed a headbutt. When you watch, like, the newer shows at least for me, I can't speak for younger fans, but when you watch the newer shows and then you go back and watch the old stuff, you really do gain a new appreciation for guys like Junkyard Dog. It's like, yeah, he didn't do much, but nobody cared. Like, it was great. Like, he had a bit that worked. And it's like, dude, I'm marking out for the fucking dog right now. It's fantastic. In a perfect world, there wouldn't be so many titles because right now they're participation trophies. Yeah, they are. That was like the worst arm drag I've ever seen in my life. That was not good. JYD, never do an arm drag ever again. Kick out by Morocco. Steamboat gets a shot in. Would you say The Godfather was the Attitude Era's JYD? In a way, like, yeah, he was that type of character for the Attitude Era. Like, not meant to have great matches, not designed to be like that great, but he's charismatic and colorful, and the fans love him, so you can use him on your card. So yeah, he kind of filled that function in a completely different way, but Morocco looks like an extra in a gangster movie. Like, he looks like he belongs on, like, The Sopranos or something. We're going to get a pile driver by Morocco? Nope, JYD counters. Did you ever go to a WWF show during the pre-Raw days? I never went to, like, a live event. I never went to, like, a TV show or a pay-per-view or anything like that, but I did go to a couple house shows in 91 and 92. In 91, Andre the Giant did a guest appearance, and he was in the corner of the babyface. So I got to see Andre the Giant live. I think I told that story last week. No, I told it on Twitter, actually. So, but yeah, I get to tell it here. And yeah, I got to see Andre the Giant. It was like, I don't remember who the face was. I don't remember who the heel was. But I remember seeing Andre the Giant, so that was a cool memory. And then in 92, I saw a show that was headlined by Jake Roberts versus Randy Savage in a steel cage, which was awesome to me. I don't remember. I mean, I don't know if the match was any good or not, but to my 6-year-old brain, it was amazing. Oh, missed it. Morocco goes right into the post. There we go. Steamboat gets the tag, and Ricky's in there. Here comes the Dragon. I love Ricky Steamboat so much. I could watch this dude all day. Into the corner with the chop. Steamboat gets a shot on Fuji. Steamboat's getting his revenge. Another shot. Boom. Kick to the back. Jumping Enziguri. Slingshot, and Morocco goes right into Fuji. That was good. What? Ricky went to the opposite side of the ring. What's he doing? Flying karate chop? Flying crossbody. 1, 2. Fuji breaks up the pin. You're going to a house show that's advertised to have AJ Nakamura. Very nice. Let me know how that is. I want to see, because obviously what they do at the house show is going to be like kind of a blueprint for what they want to do at WrestleMania. So it'll be interesting. JYD gets the win. He pinned Fuji. Babyfaces win. First house show I went to was a 97 headlined by Brett versus Taker. I'm like, okay, that's a cool match. I went to a house show in 96, and the main event was Taker and Shawn versus Mankind and Goldust in a steel cage match. And that was awesome. Because I was super into the Mankind Undertaker feud, so I was all over that match. I was like, yes, give me more Mankind and Undertaker. Babyfaces win it. All right. I believe that was the last match. Are we getting close to the end here? Coming up more from the Sun Dome. What the fuck is the Sun Dome?
Well, we have had some fun in the sun and Tampa, Florida. This has been sensational, Jesse. That's right, McMahon. I'll tell you. With the
Did you ever go to a WCW show? No, I never did. Yeah, they had a couple Starcades up in my neck of the woods, but my parents were really strict about, oh, you can't go to a pay-per-view because it's on a Sunday and Sundays are a school night. It's like,
no.
all right.
The greatest thing we saw tonight, McMahon, was what Jesse the Body did. The first and only commentator to step into the ring.
Steamboat asked to turn heel, but Pat turned it down. Pat is a very wise man. That would have never worked. Do you remember your first chant at a WWF event? Hacksaw Jim Duggan was on the card, and I remember like a lot of USA chants and hoes because Hacksaw was mad over. Yeah, I know. I got a lot of steel cage matches, right? Okay, that's the end of that. That show's over. Okay, really enjoyable show. I thought the show peaked with Funk and Hogan. I thought that was the best thing on the show, but like I said, that's typical of the format of Saturday Night's Main Event, where the best thing will be like the first or second match. But I thought the show overall was pretty entertaining. I enjoyed pretty much even like Kirchner and Volkoff was like a surprisingly solid match. And I thought the closing tag match was fun for what it was. I thought the 6-man tag was fun. I thought Savage and Steele was good and started their story. So a lot of good things. It's just a really good, fun show all around with Hogan Funk being the main highlight. So another really enjoyable episode of Saturday Night's Main Event. Starrcade 97 was in DC. Could you imagine going to that show? I wanted to go to that show, but I couldn't. Backlash 2000 was also in DC, and I wanted to go to that show, but couldn't. So, again, my parents, I was in high school at that point. I was like, come on, Mom and Dad, just don't be cool. They weren't cool. Survivor Series 95 was also in DC. What just happened? No, I want to go home. Gonna watch some Clash of Champions. You can't imagine, my parents were slightly strict. But I'm my own man now. I can go to a pay-per-view on Sundays if I want to. I went to Battleground a couple years ago. Back in, what was that, 2015? Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the Clash of the Champions. All right. I'm going to get a glass of water before we do anything. So I shall be right back. Oh, man. Let's get caught up on the comments here. Did Chainsaw Charlie ever use a chainsaw? Anybody? No, not that I'm aware of. The chainsaw was wasted at WrestleMania 32 with Lesnar Ambrose. I had this great idea of Lesnar comes out for his entrance, and then a chainsaw comes up from under the stage, and Lesnar falls through the stage. Like, that would have been a great way to use the chainsaw. This is why I love going to NXT TakeOver shows. They're on Saturday nights, right? You should have gone to Battleground in 2017. Was that in DC too? I don't even remember. Oh, God, yeah, fuck. Yeah, that was the... Oh, God, I'd forgotten about that show. Thanks for reminding me, FT Legend. Like, the worst pay-per-view I've seen in the last, 2 or 3 years. That was... Oh, God, that was so bad. Chainsaw Charlie versus Leatherface. No, again, I would like to see them as a tag team. The Chainsaw Brothers. Would have been great. Would have been great. Okay. So like I said, I really enjoyed that episode of Saturday Night's Main Event. That was a nice, fun, brisk watch. Went quick. Got some good stuff on it. Started some good stories heading into WrestleMania 2. And overall was just a really enjoyable show. I never understood why pay-per-views are on Sunday nights. Saturdays made more sense to me. I think it's because more people are home on Sundays. I think that might be the reason why that they do it. I remember back in the day, pay-per-views used to be on Saturdays, and I remember Survivor Series was on Thanksgiving and stuff. But But I think it's just because Sunday nights people are kind of like, it's the end of the week. People are getting ready, to go to work. And I think pay-per-views are just ensure people are home on Sundays. Chainsaw Charlie and Leatherface versus Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers with Freddie as the ref. I would even say, like, put, you got to work Foley in there somewhere. Maybe have Foley team up, or maybe put Foley in, like, Chainsaw Charlie and Leatherface's corner or something. I don't know. WrestleMania 2 was on a Monday. Interesting. That sounds bizarre to do that. Like, have a pay-per-view on a Monday. But, okay, if y'all are ready, I've had my water. It is now time to watch Clash of Champions 3. This one has the subtitle of Fall Brawl, which would eventually go on to becoming a standard WCW pay-per-view name. Clash of Champions 3 happened on Wednesday, September 7th, 1988. And my nose is getting stuffy. Let me go get a tissue real quick. This is weird. Sorry about that. I was getting all stopped up for some reason. I'm the best host ever for a live stream. Blowing noses and getting drunk. That's my style. Anyway, so we've got Clash of Champions 3 here with the subtitle of Fall Brawl, which, as I said, would go on to become the name of a standard name for a WCW pay-per-view. Their September pay-per-view, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, here we go. Clash of Champions 3, Wednesday, September 7th, 1988. Clash of Champions 3, Fall Brawl features Barry Windham defending the United States Heavyweight Championship against Sting and more. That is an awesome match. I want to watch that. Does anybody else want to watch Barry Windham and Sting go at it for the U.S. title? Ladies and gentlemen, Bastion Booger. I consider myself a Bastion Booger mark, and I have lived by his example for sure. But here we go. Starting now. Watch now. What is the WWE list? I keep seeing these commercials for these things that are on the network that I'm probably never going to watch. Ooh, this one's TV 14, guys. This one's going to get hardcore.
Desire, longing for the unattainable. March 27th, Greensboro, North Carolina. Sting gave the World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair all that he could handle. In a fantastic match, which I reviewed on one of my earlier live streams, and was great to relive that match again. To be driven for what promises enjoyment of pleasure. June 8th, Miami, Florida.
Have you seen the pictures that Sting has been tweeting lately? No, I haven't. What are the pictures of? Is he getting back into shape and going to get in the ring again?
Only to let it slip away. Desire to be a champion. Colorful, exceptional, graceful.
The Stinger!
Once again, the brass ring is offered. And once again, a mountain of a man, a horseman, stands between Sting and that which is desire. No doubt.
Again, I've said it before, Barry Windham, when he joined the Horsemen, that's my favorite version of the Horsemen. I thought that was just a perfect group. What is your favorite pre-match promo or video? Rock versus Mankind, I Quit match, Royal Rumble 1999. That thing is so quotable. Like, kids who were at school the next day were quoting that thing left and right. It was insane. And it's so cool the way that they set it up. I've been through every type of match, and I've never said I quit. I've been blown up. I've been thrown into barbed wire. I've been thrown on tacks and beds of nails. Pain is my calling in life. It's my middle name. Oh, we got Ric Flair at the booth? I'm loving the stash on Shivani. It's like that thing. It's like, because he doesn't look like Shivani, so it's just hilarious.
Against Armstrong, a tag team match. As you'll see, Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and Nikita Koloff take on the Sheepherders. Then a grudge match. The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, will take on.
Yeah, so Sting's posting old pictures of himself. Okay, yeah, because there's a lot to work with. I like the red face paint look. I wasn't a fan of him joining the NWO, even if it was the Wolfpack, but the red face paint looked really cool.
The next your boy Ric Flair, the National Wrestling Alliance World Heavyweight Champion. If you go down the list.
Foley's not God, but he's pretty damn good. Yeah, I agree. Foley was a very unique talent.
The greatest names, the greatest athletes in the world have been World Heavyweight Champions. Jack Briscoe, Harley Race, the American Dream, Dusty
English announce table, Spanish announce table, Ho Chi Minh Chow, Chinese announce table, all the languages down the Rock's Rumble. I will never say them here nor there. I will never say them anywhere. I will not say those words, you twit. I will not say I quit. Indestructible, the Rock's ass. Just that thing is amazing. If you have not seen Royal Rumble 1999 or the pre-match video package for Rock and Foley, good God, watch that thing. It is incredible.
The greatest wrestlers I have particularly, of course, in the main event, the United States Heavyweight Championship match between Barry Windham and Steele.
Okay,
Sorry, I'm just checking my phone real quick.
Talking about Ric Flair, Lex Luger, there is now a third.
Red face paint Sting looks heelish. Well, I mean, he joined the NWO, so of course he looks heelish. Oh, wait, Wolfpack was the good guy NWO.
Jim Ross and Bob Cottle, two great announcers. We're doing our play-by-play tonight.
Okay, so Flair's just a guest host. He's not actually doing commentary. Jim Ross and Bob Cottle. Okay. How many chair shots did Foley take that night? I think I counted 11. It was a lot. 11 sounds about right.
Every man to the man says this is going to be his night. And fans, you think it's electrifying out here in the arena floor? It is even more electrifying if you can believe it back in the locker rooms. These men are pumped up and ready to showcase their talents and the great challenges.
And I'm ready to watch them showcase their talents, Jim. Let's go. Oh, by the way, speaking of JR, let me get this real quick. I got this for Christmas a few months ago. I have not had a chance to read it. Slobber Knocker, My Life in Wrestling. Is this book any good for the people who've read it? Oh, because I want to start reading it soon. And God damn, a book by JR has got to be great. Okay, we've got Mike Rotunda versus Brad Armstrong for the TV title. That is a great mid-card match. Like, you don't see either guy as a main eventer, but it's like you want a good technical mid-card match. Those are two guys to go with. Yeah, the whole guest host thing at a major event is stupid. I agree. It's totally stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Like, what do they host of? The Fall Brawl. TV title on the line. Here we go. People want JR back because they want to relive the old days. I'm not sure if JR can still do it at the level that we knew him as. But even like a half as good JR is better than the shit that we get every week on Raw. It's so weird seeing Mike Rotunda as like a wrestler, like in the singlet and everything. It's like I'm so used to seeing him wrestle in a suit. What was that gimmick? He was IRS, obviously, but he was also like, what was the name of his WCW gimmick? VK Wall Street or something? Kevin Sullivan managing the varsity. Again, it's weird to see like the evil cult leader guy managing like the pure athletic guys. It's kind of a weird mix.
That's exactly where Armstrong doesn't want to be caught.
I think Nigel's very good. I like Morrow. I liked him more when he was doing the New Japan shows, but in WWE they want him to have catchphrases, so he has to say "Mamma Mia" all the time, and that gets a little grating. But he's overall better than most. Michael Wall Street. Okay.
Countering Mike Rotunda. You talk about great backgrounds. Of course, Armstrong grew up basically in the sport of professional wrestling.
The TV title I've always seen is the worst belt in WCW. Like, well, I mean, it's the third tier belt, but
With a great background in college, and that style, we'll see how it meshes with the style of that man, Brad Armstrong, and this is Armstrong's big opportunity for national television exposure to win the major championship that has eluded him. And Armstrong, what a great heart this kid.
oh my God, a babyface actually struggled to win the third tier championship, and it's a big deal if he wins it. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's nuts. Make people care about the third tier and the second tier titles. That's nuts. Who cares about those belts? I only care about what Cena's doing. And now it's what Reigns is doing. Hip toss by Brad Armstrong. There he goes. God, Brad Armstrong is like the ultimate example of had all the technical gifts, just couldn't get the personality to really get over in a huge way. He just, like, he had all the physical gifts, though. Like, he was a fantastic worker. If he could just cut promos and had more flair to his personality, he would have been amazing.
A lot of people that follow wrestling very closely agree with him 100%. And so far in the match, he's taken it to Rotunda.
Why is it I feel as if the fans would be as shocked when Asuka's streak end? Like, I don't feel the crowd will even be as a quarter of shocked as when Taker's streak ended. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like they don't talk about Asuka's streak that much. They talk about her being a dominant force, but I don't feel like they talk as much about her being, undefeated.
Armstrong on his shoulders, and he got a 2 count out of it. That shows that amateur background we talked about, Bob, from Syracuse.
That's right. You're talking about technical ability. Rotunda has got it too. He showed it to you right there. Always thinking in the
Okay, Brad Armstrong's got a headlock right now.
where he is.
Wait, headlocks are boring. You're not supposed to do headlocks. God. God, I used to get so mad. Like, there was a while there in videos where, like, Randy Orton would get, I would see online reviews on YouTube of guys, like, reviewing WWE shows. And Randy Orton would always get made fun of for doing too many headlocks. I'm like, a headlock is, like, one of the, like, basic moves of pro wrestling. You need headlocks. It's like they establish, like, control and dominance and add to the ebb and flow of the match. Why wouldn't you do headlocks? Like, I don't get that. Yeah, the Armstrong curse. Well, the funny thing about the Armstrong curse is that Road Dogg was the exact opposite. Dude could talk, had some charisma, not a great, like, technical worker. He was totally like a formula cartoon guy. Like, he couldn't do what Brad's doing right now. Like doing presses and mat wrestling all over the place.
And to be very honest with you, when we talked to Rotunda in the locker room prior to going on the air, he's the man that had all the confidence. He felt like he had the game plan that was the winning game plan. And thus far, it has been Brad Armstrong shining.
Well, and you saw Kevin Sullivan, as we said before.
Remember when Booker T and Chris Benoit had a best of 7 for the TV title? Yes, I did. And they were a great series of matches. All that work for a shot at the third tier title. Wow. That title seems really important right now.
Power elbow tie up. Armstrong once again with a side headlock. Standing position for both men as Armstrong exerts some pressure on the television champion of the world. Here on the Fall Brawl, coming to you live. Exclusively here on Superstation.
Yeah, Orton does have a good snap power slam. It looks really good. Joe used to have a really good one, but like I said, Joe is like, Samoa Joe has really slowed down in the last couple years. Like, nothing he does looks as good as it used to.
Let's not forget, though, in 1983 with Magnum TA, he was the tag team champion. They were tag team champions. Also in 1980.
Pushes him off. Nice! Nice takedown into a hammerlock. That was cool. I don't think I've ever seen that before. That looked neat.
We talked about the confidence factor for Mike Rotunda, and as the match progresses, the longer it goes, you can see the confidence now building in Brad Armstrong.
Armstrong right there. Good look at the youngster who has a lot to prove. He said, Jim, I got a lot to prove to the fans that have stood behind me over the years, and this is his night to really make it happen.
I wonder if Bray or Bo were watching this match back in 1988. They probably do. I'm sure they probably watched a lot of their dad's stuff. I would. If my dad was a pro wrestler, I'd watch every minute of it. Okay, Brad Armstrong keeping control with arm ringers and headlocks. Keeping control of the match. It's part of the story. You plebes.
Armstrong very basic here with the
Arm bar. Fujiwara. Arm bar. No, my favorite, the biggest laugh I got out of that, arm drag. Arm bar. Like just the way Jericho delivered that was so fantastic. Zack Sabre Jr. knows how to work headlocks. That dude knows how to work everything on the mat. Like, Zack Sabre Jr. is one of the few guys today, I could watch him do nothing but mat work for like 20, 30 minutes, and I would be enthralled the entire time because he just knows how to make every little detail matter and make everything look like it hurts and make everything look like it's important. And he is masterful at doing that. Like, it's amazing to me that he's such an internet darling because he's not like a huge spot guy. He's really a straight up technical guy in a lot of ways, and he's outstanding at what he does.
Rotunda started at defensive tackle for the Orangemen of Syracuse. He was their starting heavyweight wrestler. That's an indication of the type of athlete that this man is, and that's why he has held that television.
Zack Sabre Jr. versus Bryan Danielson. I'd love to see that match. I'd love to see that match. That would be great. Brad Armstrong still got the headlock on. Pushes him off. Rotunda got a shot to the gut. Knee lift in the stomach.
Nice move there by Rotunda to counter. Armstrong coming off the ropes. He buried the knee to the midsection.
And drapes him on the top rope. Rotunda is in control. You just call that a top cable bomb? I've never heard that name for it. And Kevin Sullivan getting some shots in. Are you going to be watching All In? Okay, here's a stupid question. What's All In? I don't know what that is. Oh.
Rotunda's going to keep him right there in the apron if he can as he keeps landing those tremendous blows hard down right across the chest. Rotunda now coming
10 minutes into the match. How much is the time limit? What did they say, 20? 20, 30? Kevin Sullivan getting another shot in. Jerk.
The conditioning factor we talked about earlier will come into play here. This is not because of a 20-minute time limit, because Brad Armstrong has sustained a lot of extracurricular punishment from Kevin Sullivan.
tremendous blow by Rotunda as they're outside of the ring, and he's going to get right out there and slam him to the ring, slam him into the post any way he can. Now they're beginning.
Oh, All In, is that the show that's being promoted by Cody and the Bucks? Yeah, dude, I'm gonna watch the fuck out of that. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, yeah, no, absolutely. I will watch Bucks and Cody promote a show. Absolutely. I'll gladly pay my money for it too. Like I really want to see what they do with that.
And Rotunda, as he wanted to initiate at the opening bell, is dictating the pace at this time of this championship encounter for the NWA World Television Title.
On the mat, Rotunda has really got it locked in tight. Look at him, really put the pressure now to the head of Armstrong.
Okay, thank you, Dragon Rider. Thank you, giving me the official Twitter of the All In event. Do you think Punk will return? Someday, you know, they say never say never. Someday Punk will be back. He'll probably be as a part-timer, but yeah, Punk will be back someday. Real question is, do you think they'll hit the 10,000 goal? I don't know. We'll just, I don't know. Something we'll have to wait and see. Shows in Chicago. That's a good place to have it, I would think. Those uppercuts by Rotunda are nice. Boom. Snapmare. Kick to the back. I thought he was going to do the Mr. Perfect, like, jumping forward, like, snap roll thing. 1, 2, and no.
Intestinal fortitude, I should say, perhaps, on the part of Brad Armstrong.
Rotunda had the leg hooked. He had it all just like he wanted it, but he still couldn't hold it. As Armstrong kicked out again, just barely though, at the count of 2, almost 3 counts, and he is weakening right now.
Oh, look at that. Rotunda gained control, and now he's weakening the babyface with headlocks. And now the babyface has to make a comeback. It's almost like they're telling a story. I don't know. It just bothered me that people criticized headlocks so much. Like, there was a period there where everyone, like, would groan if there was a headlock. I'm like, oh, my God. Are you wrestling fans? Are you? Brett came back. Warrior came back. Punk will be back. I think. See, that's what I'm basing it off of. Brett came back. Warrior came back. Bruno came back. You know, Punk could come back. Wendy Richter came back. Here comes Brad. Oh, cut him off. That was a very effective hope spot. I really like that. That was cool. Elbow drop. I think Brad is done. No. Oh, my God, he kicked out. Jeff Jarrett's coming back now, too. Right? Exactly.
Unmercifully by Kevin Sullivan. One would think that he would not have enough fight to continue this contest. That shows you a man like Brad Armstrong. He has got great heart. He's in I think for all the athletes, I know a lot of people, a lot of kids, especially in high school, junior, are getting ready to play football right now. Football season bonus. Conditioning is the key word. And attitude. They'll win a lot of games. And hopefully the Armstrong contingent, they'll win this match for Brad.
And pride. Brad Armstrong has really got pride. Of course he wants that championship belt. That's what he's fighting for.
Come on, Brad. You can get out of this. He's got his initials on his tights and his boots. It says BA. It just makes me think of Badass Billy Gunn. What's Brad doing? Fight. Oh. Brad won't stay down. Oh. Now he's thrown him out of the ring. Yeah, isn't that a disqualification, or is it only if you throw him out over the top? Or should I not care because that rule's stupid? I don't know why they ever had that rule. It's such a dumb rule. Uh-oh. Sunset flip by Brad. He gets him. 1, 2. No. Oh, my God. I thought that was it. See, back in those days, sunset flips and roll-ups were exciting because you thought they could be the finish. 4 minutes remaining. Ooh, we may get a time limit draw. That's not a Hogan leg drop, though, Rotunda. You're not going to get it. Yeah, see, only Hogan can win off leg drops. And Yokozuna, apparently. Dr. Death Steve Williams has come out. He's going to cancel out friggin' Kevin Sullivan. God, the crowd's going nuts. Dr. Death. That is such a great name. Brad with a small package. 1, 2, no. I think the rule was over the top rope DQ. Yeah, I think that's what it was too. Steve Williams came out. Where was his music and his lights, right? We have to know he's coming out. He can't just randomly go out there without music and lights. Come on. Goddamn. Hogan must pose. Oh, see, Rotunda knows that time is winding down because they announced it, so he's deliberately slowing the pace and putting him in headlocks so he can drain out the time limit draw. It's crazy how like a heel would strategize like that. It's amazing. It's almost like he's thinking on the fly too. Fallaway slam? No, Simone. Airplane spin. I cannot remember ever seeing a heel do an airplane spin. That's such a babyface move. Two minutes left. 2. No. God, JR is losing it at the booth. This is great. Oh, see, this is the JR I love. Just excited, into it, putting over the face like nobody's business. Gut wrench suplex. Strategy that isn't just hitting your finisher 47 times, right? Brad kicked out again. Inside cradle by Rotunda. No. Come on, Brad. This has got to be getting close to the end. I mean, 2 minutes. Oh, shot by Rotunda. Well, there are no time limits in WWE now. That's the problem. There's no time limits as far as I know. Why do they even have a timekeeper there? 40 seconds left. Rotunda is cheating like a bitch right now. He's like, if this were football, he'd get a delay of game penalty. He's deliberately trying to drain the clock. Come on, Brad. Oh, another clothesline. I'm waiting for Brad to do something in the closing seconds to like really, no. 15 seconds. Brad won't stay down. 3, 2, 1. Time limit draw. Armstrong went the distance. This is the third Clash of Champions we've done, and this is the second time limit draw. Stone Cold! Stone Cold! There's no such thing as being too into it. There's like, dude, go big or go home. That's my motto. Well, don't we have celebrity guest judges to like score the match and determine who keeps the belt or who wins the belt?
And a guy with a lot of heart, Brad Armstrong. We're here with the World Heavyweight Champion, Nature Boy Ric Flair, the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Certainly Brad Armstrong.
Woo!
Tonight that he has a lot of heart, and he really took the champion to the women.
Brad Armstrong is one of the finest athletes in all of professional wrestling. Today he met a man who may well be the greatest world television champion of all time, and he went out and gave Mike Rotunda all he had. This is what I said earlier. These athletes know that they're being showcased tonight. There are millions of people watching, and every athlete tonight will be out there to do his best. You know,
Flair being out there kind of reminds me of like Apollo Creed being at the like at the panel for the Clubber Lang Rocky fight in Rocky 3. Not the second fight, but the first one. Did any of the RVD Jerry Lynn ECW matches end in time limit draws? I don't think so. None that I recall. Sabu and RVD had a time limit draw at WrestlePalooza 98. I remember that one.
I know the match was not because of blood, and say what you want to about the way the match ended, but Ric Flair and Lex Luger gave us one of the greatest matches I had ever seen.
Yeah.
I know that when you think about Lex Luger,
And so yeah, I guess Luger didn't win the belt after what happened at Clash of Champions 2. Oh no. But yeah, going back to the opening match, I enjoyed that match quite a bit. I thought that was a good, solid, textbook opening match. My only, like, I guess, complaint would be at the end. I was kind of hoping that Brad Armstrong would, like, fire up and hit something big to kind of add to the drama a little bit. But it felt like he was just trying to survive and go the distance rather than try and win the title. But, you know. But other than that, I thought it was a really good match. Throw the damn towel! Why didn't Rocky throw the towel? It's like, come on, dude.
Each and every one of them at one time or another to get where he is today, and that is the pinnacle of our sport, the World Heavyweight Championships.
Why is it so many people complain that they don't want Taker to return? I mean, I'm one of them. I don't want Taker to return, but the best thing about doing the Taker Cena match is like, oh, thank God, I don't have to watch anybody get fed to either one of them. But Taker looks so awful like the last few years. He's just he ain't the dead man anymore. It's like, dude, I don't want to watch you anymore. And I mean, up to me, like that's one of my piss break matches. Truth be told, I mean, it is, because I have no interest in Cena. I have no interest in Taker at this point. The streak is dead, so there's no drama. It's just, I mean, what are they going to do?
Even though I'm not wrestling on this great program, I am the flagship for this great sport. In the National Wrestling Alliance, we know to be.
I'm loving the gold bow tie that Flair's got on. It looks spiffy.
I am Ric Flair. I'm the world champion. As I said earlier, Tony, it's a great honor to be out here. Confidence, I exude confidence. I've never walked that aisle not knowing beyond a shadow of a doubt that I was the best man in that building each and every night.
fans, there's only one NWA World Heavyweight Champion. He'll be with us once again.
The Nature Boy.
When we come back,
Woo!
will review the situation, including gorgeous Jimmy Garvin and the Games Master Kevin Sullivan, right here on the Fall Brawl.
Cena versus Taker is happening a decade too late. It kind of feels that way, to be honest. If they had done it when the streak was still intact, there would have been some drama because, like, oh my God, they might let Cena end the streak. But now it's just, who cares? And Cena's like, you know, we all talk about Taker retiring. Cena's getting towards the end. I mean, he's a part-timer now. It's like, how much longer is he going to be there?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. A lot more great action still to come. Nikita Koloff.
That match felt like Rocky won. He was just happy he went the distance. Yeah, that's fine. But Rocky did try to win that fight at the end. He did get the final shots in. And for a split second, you thought Rocky might actually win it and win the title.
And Bob, I think it's very appalling that action has gone outside the ring to the nature that it has.
I think you're right there, 100%, Jimmy. You know, the end of
JR's complaining about outside action outside the ring.
Dustin Rhodes was suspended for an altercation outside the ring with a baseball bat. Well, so far, there's been no suspension and no fine here. But we know that the NWA...
Nowadays, if a match doesn't have any action outside the ring, it's considered shitty. Like, how dare you not have brawling outside the ring?
Let's review now the situation involving Kevin Sullivan and gorgeous Jimmy Garvin. There is...
Okay, we're getting a replay.
Here's Precious and...
Oh, we're getting some more of the Precious Kevin Sullivan storyline. God, look at that old set. Oh my God. Watch the language there, Jim. Should Vince turn Roman versus Brock into a 30-minute Iron Man match just to piss the fans off and then have it go in overtime? That would be hilarious. I would actually respect that level of trolling if they did that. I mean, go an hour. Might as well at this point.
This is just a group of startling events right here. Jimmy Garvin is. I've never
They should have let Cena end the streak, which could have led to his heel turn because he thought he could win over the fans by beating Taker and then just got booed instead. I mean, whoever ended the streak was going to get heel heat anyway, so it's like, yeah, if you wanted to turn Cena heel, that would have been a good way to do it. He should have turned heel against The Rock for the build-up to 28. I thought he should have turned heel at 29, where it's like it was revealed that Cena was the one who was backing the Shield all along, and then he had the Shield attack Rock at the end of WrestleMania 29, and that's what to beat Rock, to beat the one guy that he couldn't defeat, he had to turn heel and create the Shield and do that. That would have been an amazing ending to WrestleMania 29, but nope. Nope. All right, up next, we've got Nikita Koloff and Dr. Death Steve Williams versus the Sheepherders. Sheepherders, the Bushwhackers, who had a really good match in the second Clash of Champions. It was funny, I'm looking at them in the ring. They're doing the Bushwhackers thing right now. And they screwed that up by having Brock squash Cena at SummerSlam. I actually like that Cena got squashed at SummerSlam. I thought that was cool. Have Nakamura versus AJ finish with a roll-up in the first minute while you're at it. Yeah, right? Yeah, they've had a ton of chances to turn Cena heel, and they never did it. So at this point, I'm like, I don't care. Like, at this point, I just want Cena to retire. Sheepherders versus Wyatts. It would have been, you know what? I would have been for that. That would have been a neat match. Again, this is September 88, so we're getting close to the Bushwhackers showing up in WWF. So we're getting close to the end of their run here, I would think. Yeah, they're even dressed like the Bushwhackers here, and it's weird. Because I'm expecting them to do comedy stuff. They're like, oh, no, wait, they're working heel. Nikita and Dr. Death. That's an interesting pairing.
Straight. Wrestle, and I think both of them, Williams and Koloff, both have great abilities to wrestle these two others.
Well, there's no doubt that Dr. Death Steve Williams has a tremendous amount of wrestling ability, four-time NCAA All-American and wrestling champion. He's got a tremendous wrestling background. He's got a great body and a lot of power and a lot of strength and speed to go with that. So as you say, keep him down, let's wrestle him, let's speed him down.
The football tackle by number 76 to the Oklahoma Sooners. Big Dr. Death wore that jersey to the ring, and that football tackle certainly indicative of his God-given athletic ability. Boy, you talk about an ugly character.
Yeah, Rip Morgan is the ugly one. In a match that includes Luke and Butch and Dr. Death, he kind of looks like the sheriff from Stranger Things. A little bit. Oh, shoulder tackle by Dr. Death. And another one on Butch. Is Roman versus Rock still a match you want to see? Absolutely not. Nope. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. No desire.
I mean, awaken the wrestling world as far as tag team wrestling is concerned. I'm talking specifically about the two finest tag teams in the world today. And I'm speaking about,
you know what's amazing? The WWF had an amazing, stacked tag team division. And that was after they plundered all the territories and took all the talents. And then you look at NWA, they've still got the Sheepherders. They've still got Midnight Express, Rock and Roll Express, the Fantastics, all these teams, the Horsemen. So it's like you've got like tag team wrestling, man, the 80s. It's a good time. It's a good time to be a fan of tag team wrestling.
so we're in a situation here, fans, where the Sheepherders, they want to make the
I liked it. Yeah, Cena versus Brock at SummerSlam. I liked it the first time they did it because it was shocking and no one expected it. But then they just kind of worked all of Brock's matches around just doing Suplex City, and it got boring. Butch, turn around, buddy. There you go. Koloff is throwing him around like a rag doll. Again, it's weird that, like, during the Cold War, you have this Russian guy that's a big baby face. It's really strange. Not saying I'm opposed to it. I just think it's weird.
And the pressure on both these teams to leave here with a victory is immense, because somewhere down the line, we have to think that the Horsemen and the Midnight Express will settle their situation. And then, who will be next to challenge the champions? Will it be the Sheepherders, or could it be Dr. Death?
During the Hall of Fame speech, I think Butch was the one that was kind of going off and just acting crazy. So, and Luke was, like, surprisingly, like, reserved. I've never seen him act like a normal person before. But Butch very much act like a bushwhacker. So.
You'll see them cut off the ring. They will wrestle in their half of the ring, and they will tag in frequently. Nikita knows that. He's finding his way back out to the middle of the ring, and now works his way to his corner to tag in the doctor.
Boy, the big man is ready. Over the top rope.
Boom! There's Dr. Death.
Powerful, tremendous athlete. Dr. Death, 6'1.5", 283. Came out of Lakewood, Colorado High School. Went to the University of Oklahoma. What an athlete he was there. Dr. Death now living in Shreveport, Louisiana. Big Doc now. Back into the ropes. There he goes for the ride.
That's a clothesline. Dr. Death with a clothesline of his own.
He's bouncing right back in. These Sheepherders are brawlers, but they're so resilient. They're tough.
They really know how to make the moves, but they can take it.
The Bushwhackers' entrances were in WWF video games, WWE video games, even when Luke and Butch weren't in it. Well, I mean, wouldn't you want your creator wrestlers to go down doing this? Nice cross body by Dr. Death.
That's 283 from the top rope and tagging in Nikita Koloff. We talked about the Sheepherders cutting the ring in half and tagging in and out very frequently. That's what Koloff and Doc are doing right here. That's a great tribute.
How'd they settle on the name Sheepherders? I mean, I hear that, I instantly think of people that fuck sheep. Even though technically sheepherders don't strictly fuck sheep. I just look at those guys, I'm like, oh, they call themselves sheepherders. I'm like, okay, they probably, you know, fuck the sheep.
You see those great athletes, college backgrounds in NWA, like a Ron Simmons from Florida State.
Ron Simmons reference, look at that.
That's the difference in the NWA, the intense competition. The best versus the best, and it is, I mean, man-on-man athletic competition at its very best. Dr. Death trying to hold on to that arm.
Takedown by Dr. Death.
It's Williams versus Williams, obviously no relation.
Yeah, we got, okay, so it's, what, Luke Williams is Luke the Bushwhacker, and we got Dr. Death Steve Williams. So JR just had to drop the, like, the Buster and Babs Bunny line. No relation. No relation. Why for Seth versus Brock didn't WWE do that? Every time Lesnar did a suplex, Rollins lands on his feet. The story being Brock can't suplex Rollins. Oh yeah, it would have been much better, and he would have had to change his strategy. Yeah. And it would have enhanced, like, the cat and mouse aspect of Rollins, like, running away from him. And, like, that's the type of story you tell with those two, with Rollins trying to, like, keep his distance. Maybe the Sheepherders would have joined the Wyatts. Maybe. You know, there's a dream match for me. Like, 10-man tag. You get Hawk, Animal, Crush, Smash, and Axe versus Bray Wyatt, Luke and Butch, and then Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. 10-man tag. Survivor Series. Book that shit. Except don't. It's a terrible idea. Especially since some of them are dead. So Not going to work.
Senior year, so he's a very impressive individual and a very overzealous there. Now we'll see the Sheepherders go to work, and let's see if they'll keep Doc. If they can keep Doc in their half of the ring, he's away from his corner.
You know, that's what they're going to try to do. We talked about the experience before. And
Boom.
there's many tag teams-
Jumping elbow there from Butch.
That's exactly what they're going to try to do. And they almost have it.
Both teams have high impact tendencies. A lot of knees, elbows, clubbing like blows. But Williams and Koloff, I feel, are better wrestlers. That's what they need to do when the opportunity presents itself. But the Sheepherders just may not let that opportunity present itself again in this contest.
Williams shaking that head, trying to shake it up.
Oh, Dr. Death is no selling. He's like, nah, your shots don't do anything, bitch.
Well, that's going to get your attention.
Nope,
When you
cut him
land
off.
a blow like that and the guy just looks you straight in the eye.
But he got net from behind. We should have by Butch Miller. Lateral press count of 1, 2. Doc.
You know, it's funny. I look at these old shows. I keep waiting to see like an Ico Pro sign for some reason. I'm like, oh, no, wait. That was early 90s WWF.
The number 1 and number 2 teams.
Ico Pro.
Rages on for the supremacy in tag team wrestling. But who's in the on-deck circle? Who will be the next challenger for either the Horsemen or the Midnight Express? A lot of the wrestling media think it'll be one of these two teams right here.
And it certainly could be. When you're talking about the very best.
Knee lift.
The World Tag Team Champions, United States Tag Team Champions, both of those championships coveted by all of the tag teams throughout the NWA. All of them the greatest teams in the world. And again, Doc is shaking it off.
The Sheepherders are coming at Dr. Death with every clubbing blow that they can muster, everything that they can create. Williams being held there. What do you want that way? Miscalculation.
Uh-oh. Dr. Death got the tag. Here we go. Nikita's back in there. Boom. Wasn't Ico Pro the training center or something? Ico Pro was like, I think it was like a line of like weightlifting supplies and like nutrient supplements or something that Vince was backing. So like if you watch a show from like 1991, you'll see like Ico Pro signs like all over the arena. Was it back in 2010, 2011 when you said every tag match was the same in WWE? Yes. Back then, it felt like when they weren't doing anything with tag teams, it felt like every tag match was exactly the same, like down to a T, to where I could almost set a watch to it. It was crazy. It would be faces start off hot, face gets worked over, they do hot tag, then it's a free-for-all, and then they do whatever the finish is. It was like the exact same thing almost every match. Why are WWE fans so impatient? Just turn Sasha heel already, have Carmella cash in already. They just want everything here and now. Yeah, it helps to wait for shit. I'm not, in both of those cases, I'm not begging for Sasha to turn heel. I just feel like Sasha already turned on Bayley at Elimination Chamber, then Bayley already turned on her when she walked out on her in the middle of a tag match. So I'm just like, hasn't the turn already happened? It's weird. And with Carmella, it's like, no, I mean, take your time with that. I don't care how long you wait. Just, I'm glad that they gave her a pay-per-view win. It's like, oh yeah, the briefcase winner should be winning matches so that, you know, it feels important when they cash in.
Nikita Koloff is a long way away from the corner.
Remember back in 2008 when Raw and SmackDown had maybe 2 or 3 tag teams each? Yeah, like if that. They had like 5 tag teams in the whole company, and they were split over 2 shows. It was ridiculous. Now Nikita needs to get a hot tag. Get Dr. Death back in there. Nikita, you're in the wrong corner, buddy. Get over. He's almost there. He's almost there. Ah. Welcome to the stream, Flaw. I've been streaming for about over 2 hours. We went through the 4th episode of Saturday night's main event, and we're on the 2nd match of Clash of Champions. Yeah, the Bushwhackers were like still there in '96, weren't they? Which felt weird to me. It's like, because they were one of the few things from the 80s that was still kind of there. I was like, oh my God, the Bushwhackers. Can't believe they're still here. Yeah, it helps to wait for stuff. It's waiting for stuff is fine. Headlock. Sleeper hold, I mean, by Luke. Sleeper hold, he's fading. Take a shot every time somebody puts on a headlock. Dude, these are 80s shows. I'll be dead before like the 3rd match.
And right back, the veteran, right back in the attack. No waste of motion this time from Luke.
Tell you what, here's a fun drinking game. Saturday night's main event. Every time Vince McMahon says maneuver, take a shot. Oh, Joe, Nikita was in the corner, but Dr. Death was distracted by Rip Morgan. And he was jaw-jacking with him and didn't see Nikita in the corner. That's some bad continuity among a team there. Bad teamwork. Why are the heels in a tag match always in the corner away from the entrance and the face is always close to it? I have no idea. And I just saw Luke of the Bushwhackers do a top rope headbutt, and he missed. Think back to any Bushwhacker match you ever saw in WWF. There's a hot tag. Dr. Death is in there. Have you ever seen the Bushwhackers do a top rope move? Like, please comment there if you have. So, yeah, the Bushwhackers could work. Nice trip up on the Gorilla Press. This is the 2nd show in a row we've had the Sheep Herders on, and they're having a good match. Now Nikita's back in there. Huge clothesline. 1, 2, 3, you got him. Got the sickle. The sickle, damn it. The sickle. What a slobber knocker. Good match. I enjoyed that. Nice, solid tag team action from the Bushwhackers. Go figure. Okay, whoop. I barely seen the Bushwhackers walk straight and dive off the rope. Yeah, right? Clothesline from hell before the clothesline from hell. Yep. Exactly. Okay, now we've got Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, if you will, taking on Kevin Sullivan. I saw somebody sent me a clip from Hog Wild 96, and during a match with Bull Nakano in it, she pulls out nunchucks, and you have Dusty Rhodes on commentary going, "Nunchucks! Nunchucks! Nunchucks!" And there's no greater joy than Dusty Rhodes yelling nunchucks. It's great. And Dusty is beating the crap out of Sullivan, ramming him all over the place outside the ring. Virginia is less than 8 minutes away from losing to a 16 seed. Are you fucking serious? Holy shit. That's crazy. That is crazy. I guess every NCAA tournament has that one upset. Weren't Dusty and Sullivan the bookers of NWA? I believe Dusty was booking at this point. I'm not 100% sure on that. Didn't you pull out nunchucks at SummerSlam 94 too? I don't remember. I don't remember that match. Actually, this is 88. Like, Dusty's getting close to... Well, he came to WWF in late 89, like summer of 89, I think. So we're getting close to the end of his run, too, in NWA. Boom!
What kind of action are they going to take? Of course, we'll keep everybody updated on that right here on the Superstation. But right now, Sullivan is involved in
Have you heard that Bobby Fish got injured? Yeah, I did hear that. That's unfortunate. Adam Cole, baby, will be subbing for him and teaming with Kyle O'Reilly. I guess that's a good option. That's the best they can do. Get some elbows in. Oh, Sullivan with a cheap shot. Yeah, there's some good stuff in WCW and NWA. When I first got into wrestling, I was mostly a WWF guy, but then I found stuff like this. So really, and I've credited Sting as being kind of my gateway guy to getting me into other wrestling outside of the WWE, WWF at the time.
Whenever you got a Gary Hart, Jim Cornette, Rick Morgan, the third man outside of the ring, you're always at a real disadvantage. And Hart is a real master. He knows what it's all about.
Come on, Dust. God, the crowd is so into Dusty. To Vincey, the only good stuff from NWO, WCW are the things that he made and took. Yeah, pretty much. What is he? He's jabbing the spike into Dusty. Ew. Oh! Cover your heart, Dusty. Cover your heart. Kalima. Kalima.
Shortening Garvin's career because it's hard to think if Garvin can ever come back at 100%.
Yeah, the NWO was a super exciting time to be a fan. That was such a hot idea. 2 arms down. Nope, Dusty's back. 3rd arm is up. Is it fair to say that Daniel Bryan was a modern day Dusty Rhodes? In a way, like as like that, like People's Choice, Common Man type character. Yeah, in a way. Completely different in ring style, obviously, but there's some similarities there. Oh, did you, that was a low blow there. Did the ref not see it? That should have been a DQ on Dusty. Now Dusty's coming back. Here we go. Woo. Bionic elbow, boom. Okay, not quite a bionic elbow, but. Clearly, Danielson and Dusty worked at the same gym. Yeah. Same diet, too. Oh, the spike! How has Dusty not been DQ'd yet? Is this a no DQ match and I just missed it? Because Sullivan was like hiding the foreign object, so I assume that like. What's Al Perez do? Oh. And now, what the hell? Because he's the booker. Yeah. Yeah, that's why he hasn't been DQ'd, because he's the booker. Fair enough. Now they're whipping. Okay, Al Perez and Sullivan are whipping Dusty with a chain. Oh, look at that. That was creative. What the fuck? Okay, so Dusty just pinned Gary Hart, the manager, and he gets the win. So now I know where Hogan got his finish from for Uncensored 95. That was stupid. I didn't like that. That was dumb. That was dumb. I don't know. That match made no sense. I mean, Dream, I love you, but that match made no sense. Now we got, what is that, Ricky Morton and Ivan Koloff in a chain match? Okay. What's this about Uncensored 95? Okay, the main event of Uncensored 95 was Hogan versus Vader in a strap match. And the rules were, it was the four-corner touch rule to win. And the question was, oh my God, how can Hogan drag Vader around the ring and touch all four corners? He can't do it. During the match, with all the insanity, you had the Renegade show up, and there was some insanity there. Flair interfered. The straps came loose, and Hogan tied Flair to the straps and dragged Flair around the ring and touched the four corners, and he was declared the winner. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense, because Flair's not the active participant in this match. And by the way, I was literally that pay-per-view happened the day before my 10th birthday, so I was a day shy of 10 years old, and I'm pointing out the plot holes in your fucking wrestling stories. I'm like, that doesn't make a lick of fucking sense. That's stupid.
We all know John Ayers' reputation, one of the greatest professional football players of all time.
Do you think it's a bad thing being a second-generation superstar, especially if your father was a big name, because you will always be compared to the legend before? I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's hard to kind of live up to what your dad did, but not impossible. I mean, you look at Randy Orton. I think he surpassed his dad. The Rock clearly surpassed both his grandfather and his father. You know, so it's not impossible to succeed, but it is rough because you've got to, like, you have that shadow cast over you, and that can be hard to deal with.
And I'm an impartial judge.
And somewhere back in 1995, someone would be telling you, stop criticizing and enjoy it. No. Only WWE gets that rule. WCW, no. WCW doesn't get that consideration. David Sammartino was a good example of a failure. Yeah. I mean, you want to talk about somebody that did not measure up to his dad, David Sammartino. He did wrestle at the first WrestleMania, though, so give him that. They just referenced Lawrence Taylor. The Giants fan in me just marked out a little.
Heavyweight wrestling champion and big man. I hope you're not looking for a future after football in professional wrestling.
Ric Flair reading John Ayers the Riot Act.
May the best man win. I'll call it like I see it, and I will not be intimidated.
Well, I think that's the key right there. We talked about needing a big man in the ring, and intimidation, of course, a part of the sport. And
David Flair, yeah. David Flair was, you know what killed Flair, David? He got, well, number one, I never felt like he really wanted to be a wrestler. It was something that was kind of forced upon him. But even if he did want to do it, he was pushed way too soon. Way, 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 way too soon. And he had no business being on TV. That said, I did enjoy some of the stuff he did with Crowbar and Daphne. I thought they had a good gimmick. You know what cracks me up? No one is shy about criticizing movies, video games, TV shows, but criticizing WWE is like insulting God. It's this weird thing. Like WWE has this thing that I don't know. Like you almost can't insult them. They're like they are the gods of their art form. Now we got the real evil Russians, the Ivan Koloff match. And now the Rock and Roll Express are going to come out to really shitty stock music. I'm not even, like, I'm getting bored complaining about it at this point. Yeah. Yeah, David Flair had no business being on television when he was that green. No. Ricky Morton. God, he looked so young back then. I don't know if you've seen what Ricky Morton looks like now, but he doesn't look like that. The Russian Chainsaw match? Is that the announcer said, the Russian Chainsaw match? I want to see a Russian Chainsaw match. Ivan Koloff, yes, he was the one to beat Bruno. Yeah, and Bruno's like 7-8 year reign, however long it was. Yeah, one thing I do want to see, speaking of that era with Bruno, one match I would love to see footage of, and I don't think it exists. I would love to see the Bruno Pedro Morales like 75-minute draw that they had at Shea Stadium. I would love to see that match. Like, just to see if they could hold my attention for that long. I know, right? Yeah, 30 years ago, they looked so much younger. It's funny how aging works. Although I've been told, like, not to brag, I've been told I look the same as I did in high school. So, of course, I didn't get married, so that's probably why. Didn't have my soul sucked out of me. Have you seen what Brock Lesnar's daughter looks like? If not, you have to see it. Okay, I'll ask this question. Does she take after Brock or does she take after Sable? Actually, let me look it up. I'm just going to look it up. Brock Lesnar's daughter.
I talked to Ricky Horn on the air. He said he was going to dedicate this match to his dad, who's doing very well in Tennessee for a great referee in professional wrestling. So Ricky's this one's for his father. So he's got a lot of incentive right here. And Ivan Koloff.
Is that her? Oh my God, she looks like Brock in a wig. Is that really her? Yeah, Gail Kim, she's like in her 40s, isn't she? She still looks great. Yeah, is that Brock Lesnar's daughter, the one with like her smiling and like the 10? Because if so, it's like, good God, that looks like her daddy in a wig. Okay, Russian chain match. Here we go. Oh! Through the legs.
Size disadvantage. But the size disadvantage may be a big factor in this match, Bob, and I know you know why.
Well, it's going to give Koloff the advantage. He's going to be able really to drag Morton around the ring. He's got to outweigh him some 40 pounds, so he's got the strength advantage right there. Not only that, I think one of the important factors is, tied to that chain as you are, it's hard to negate some of the tremendous athletic.
Oh, they're doing the four corners thing.
Get around the ring and do
Okay, two.
two corners already. Koloff has touched two corners.
So all Ricky Morton has to do to win this thing is just tie the chain to Ric Flair and drag him around the corners. Lillian Garcia, yeah, she was older when she was around regularly. Yeah, and she always looked great. I always got mad when people said she had like a horse face. I'm like, fuck off. She looks fantastic. Oh my God, yeah, when non-wrestling fans say, you know it's fake, right? I'm like, my go-to answer for that nowadays is I either get super, super sarcastic. I'm like, no, it is? Wow, I never knew that. Thank you for telling me. Oh my God, I never would have known that it was fake. So I either get super pissy and super sarcastic about it, or I'll say something like, yeah, so's Game of Thrones. What's your point? Like, you know, those are my answers to that.
Ricky Morton, of course, most of Morton's matches have been as a tag team. And he and his tag team partners have had great success over the years. Also, now Morton really wanted to prove himself that he can go as a single. But he really picked the lulu of a match, and that's his chain match.
Have you ever been curious to see the death of Owen Hart? No, I don't want to see it. I have no interest in seeing it. I never want to see footage of it. I'm that weird type of guy. I know some people, it's like you see a car accident on the road, you got to slow down. I'm the type of guy, it's like, if I slow down, it'll be to get out and see if I can help. But I don't actually want to see like the train wreck or the disaster. It's you know, I had a friend that committed suicide. To this day, that was over a decade ago. To this day, I don't know how or why he committed suicide, because I don't really want to know. It's depressing enough as it is. I don't need the grisly details. I always got the you like half-naked men grabbing each other line. Yeah, but then what about UFC? What is that? Like, I've seen two guys in the missionary position roll around a mat. I mean, for God's sake. Thank you, Dragon Rider. Appreciate it.
To drag or to pull his opponent and consecutively touch all four ring corners. That's how you win it. But right now, Ivan Koloff going perhaps all the way up to the top.
Ivan Koloff going to the top rope with the chain. He's going to get yanked off, right? Ricky's going to drag it. Yep. That was dumb. Fucking moron. Okay, it says rock on Ricky Morton's shirt or on his tights. I totally thought it said cock for a second. Rock with your cock out. Ooh.
It's like a long chain, Bob. Some people would say in the rural parts of America. And we do thank the fans wherever you may be for tuning into Superstation TBS. Here for the Clash of Champions 3, the Fall Brawl. We're coming to you live right here, right now. Koloff trying to choke the life out of Ricky Morton. Koloff now slowed it down to his pace, and that chain will now become a weapon. You can bet at every opportunity. He's got Morton hung with it. He's gonna hang him on it.
Oh! Now he's hanging Ricky Morton with the chain.
If he can choke him into unconsciousness, he can pull him around quite easily. But Ricky Morton fights back. I want to tell you something. Koloff may not pick the biggest man to fight, size-wise. But I got to think that Ricky Morton's got the biggest heart right now.
That guy's all heart, no doubt about that. Tremendous heart.
Koloff hammers away at Ricky Morton. Morton down on both knees, now comes back up. A snap mare by Ivan Koloff. And Koloff measuring that chain.
Ooh!
He wraps Morton right across the abdomen with that chain. It's like he was lashing him with a leather grip. But this is
Whipping him with the chain. That can't feel good.
Tremendous blows as he's whipping Morton as Morton is flat out on the mat. Koloff go again to the corners.
He starts his sequence once again. Then he's got to touch all four of them without being brought off his feet.
Is the footage of Bruno's long streak ending out there? I would love to see that reaction. I've heard it was like Undertaker's streak ending. Yeah, I heard people in the audience were crying like when it happened. I would love to see that footage. I don't know if it exists. Orton takes him down. Is he going to hog time with the chain now? I thought he was going to hog time with the chain. I hate it when I get a non-fan to watch a match with me and the pay-per-view sucks. Yeah. See, I would, if I was going to introduce a non-fan to it, I would make sure that we watch something that I know would be good. So it's either a show that I'm excited for or like something on the network like this. I know that I would enjoy like a Saturday Night's Main Event or a Clash of Champions from the 80s. So like that stuff is enjoyable.
You got to beat him almost into submission. And a real good, quick athlete that really wants to wrestle and goes for the pinfall, I think is at a disadvantage.
Paul Jones nervously pacing at ringside. Jones knows that a lot of his credibility, a lot of his managerial credibility on the line here.
Ivan, you're going to the top rope again? It didn't work last time, buddy. Oh, he clobbered him with the chain. Oh, I thought Koloff hit Ricky. They probably didn't do that spot as well as they could have. I remember meeting some older kids, one 11 and the other 16, who thought every wrestling show out there was WWE in some way. Well, it kind of is now since they own everything. Okay, Ricky Morton's got 3 corners down. Last one. Oh, Ivan's got his legs tied up in the ropes. Very clever. It's almost there. Ricky's almost got it. Can Ricky get it? I'm watching this match and it reminds me of the unnecessary stoplights that the Eddie JBL bull rope match had. It's a good match, but for some reason, to go around the corners, they put like the little flashing lights to designate whether Eddie or JBL had touched the corner. And I was like, that's completely unnecessary, but okay. Just another example of WWE. He got it. Ricky got it. Okay, that match was okay. That wasn't a stellar match, but it was okay. Can you imagine a new fan's first pay-per-view was WrestleMania 28 and you tell them then that the Sheamus Daniel Bryan match opener is going to be awesome, and then the match starts and they look at you like you need a helmet? Yeah, I mean that was one of the funniest like attempted troll jobs by a promotion and have it blow up in their face like almost instantly. It was hilarious. Ricky Morton's getting his ass kicked outside the ring. Oh, and then Ivan just turned on Paul Jones. And now the masked Russians are beating up on Ivan Koloff. I mean, JR, how do you know they're Russian? They could be just American wearing Russian gear. Was WrestleMania 28 on April Fool's Day? Because if so, it's like that's kind of secretly brilliant doing the Daniel Bryan Sheamus match the way they did. Wow. Virginia lost. I'm legitimately, that's surprising. Let me look that up. Yeah, the Russian assassins, I guess they're like the conquistadors. They're only known by their numbers and their masks. Of course, my favorite conquistadors were Edge and Christian, but...
What does the guy want? Jones wants more of the chain. Jones says, pick it up and do it again. I want some more punishment and pain. They call him the power of pain. Paul Jones, and he is hammered away. And the orchestra, Jones kick him in the head with those boots. Ivan busted open there.
Ivan's busted open. The fans are chanting for Nikita to save Ivan Koloff. What happened to Ricky Morton? Did he just disappear?
Let's get out of here. Let's get out. We'll be right back, fans. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
You mean like how Muhammad Hassan was an American Italian playing in a Middle Eastern guy, right? How do you get over someone's death, if ever? I mean, honestly, a close loved one, you never really get over it. It's just one of those things you just kind of learn to live with. But you never, in my mind at least, you never fully get over it. Yokozuna was Yokozuna was totally Japanese. What?
When Ric Flair wrestles Lex Luger for the heavyweight championship of the world. Now, John, I know that you've been down in one of the most violent sport in the country, the National Football League.
Not anymore, brother. The National Football League is one of the most violent sports. They're trying their damnedest to make sure that's no longer the case.
Well, Jim, what you have to do is you let Ric Flair do what he does best, and that's talk. And when we get in the ring, I hope he doesn't think for 1 minute that I'm not going to be the one that's in charge.
I know one thing. You're not intimidated by Ric Flair or Lex Luger for that matter, are you?
No, I'm not.
Why are we interviewing him? He has no charisma on the mic at all, whatsoever.
And now let's go up to the ring for the introductions of our main event.
Who was big in the NFL in 1988? Joe Montana, Jerry Rice. I mean, the 49ers, I think at this point were, you know, did they just win a Super Bowl this year, I think? Oh, U.S. title match, main event. The Stinger will be challenging Barry Windham. But yeah, Lawrence Taylor was a big deal. Best defensive player in football at that point. Now, you TNA fans may notice this. Sting, that jacket that Sting is wearing, that's the jacket he wore to Bound for Glory 2006 in his title match against Jarrett. Or at least same design. I don't know if it's the exact same jacket, but... Yeah, who was the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns back then? Bernie Kosar, I think his name was. He was probably the biggest quarterback the Cleveland Browns have had in the Super Bowl era, at least.
Just days away. John Ayers will be observing this match here at ringside. John's got one of the best seats in the house. There you see.
Could anyone have pulled off the Undertaker gimmick besides Mark Calloway? I doubt it. I highly doubt it. It's just, it was just right place, right time, right guy.
We've seen Sting in matches prior to this where he's taking a world champion right to the wire, Desire and Hart.
All right, here we go. This is the match I was waiting for. Sting and Windham. Woo!
This kid will celebrate his 3rd anniversary in wrestling on Thanksgiving Day. Armstrong takedown by the Stinger. Barry Windham on the other hand, an 8-year veteran. He's so young in age, and look at those great wrestling moves. Terrible intimidation. Sting 6'2", Windham 6'6", and as I have said before, these two young lions, I think, are going to have something to say about the course that the sport of professional wrestling takes in the next few years.
These two are going to be at the top for a long, long time to come. There's no doubt about that.
No, the Cleveland Browns did not win a Super Bowl. No, but they had a quarterback in the 80s. I believe his name was Kosar, and he was like the best they've ever been. You know. But no, they never won a Super Bowl. And unless something severely changes, they're not gonna anytime soon. Whoop. Look at Sting go. Oh, nice catch by Barry. Sting breaks out. Nice. Drop kick by Sting. Boom. Sting be like, I'm better than Ultimate Warrior. Ah.
It's destiny, according to all the fans that I've talked with and the wrestling media, is that it is destined that this young man, the Stinger, be a champion. And this is his opportunity right here in prime time, baby. The fall brawl here on the Superstation. But that man, Barry Windham, the undisputed U.S. champion. We saw the last time on our national broadcast. Very controversial fashion.
Yeah, 49ers and Bengals, that was a great Super Bowl, too. That was like the first, like, good Super Bowl in a long time because they didn't, like, just, for lack of a better term, squash matches for the last few years. And the Bengals and 49ers kind of broke the streak, and that was the one where Montana had that streak at the end. I had that drive at the end to win the game. No sells a back suplex and hits a couple drop kicks for his troubles. Stinger!
I think you were going to say, Ric Flair, he was going to get a lot of good out of seeing Barry Windham really manhandle Sting. He wanted him to work Sting over.
My point is that I think Sting's game plan may not be as clearly defined as Windham because of James J. Dillon, because of the hours that the Horsemen, and I'm talking about the Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, they're constantly looking at videotape of the Midnight Express. And so Dillon is a master of putting together winning, underline that word, winning game plans. So, and it's not to take anything away from Sting.
Would anyone say that J.J. Dillon is the Bill Belichick of the 80s NWA era? The Bears-Patriots Super Bowl was ridiculously one-sided. Yes, it was absurd. Like, it was basically the 85 Bears just having a field day.
The champion guys are beginning to really jaw at each other. The Stinger had to get a tremendous.
Who brought more energy to the arena, Warrior or Rock? I'd say Rock, probably. The thing about Warrior, he would bring energy, but he'd be in there and out there faster than you could like even react to it. So, you know, Rock had more of like a sustained. You can kind of soak in the energy type of energy to him. Sting! Oh, reverse atomic drop. That looked really painful, by the way. Again, I keep saying it. It's like the reverse, the inverted atomic drop looks like a friggin' like knee to the nuts, and that's what it looks like, and that one looked really, really bad. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did Windham just do a Flair face flop? Come on, buddy. It's copyright infringement. Yeah, he was Rock in the Ultimate Warrior. His first name was Blade Runner Rock. He was the first Rock in pro wrestling.
Jim Cornette says Jim Dillon's crazy, so I don't know what all that means, but
actually, Don Morocco for a while was also called The Rock Don Morocco, when he turned babyface and had superstar Billy Graham as his manager.
As I have said on many occasions, he can turn a normal wrestling maneuver into something just simply spectacular. But Windham now, stopping that momentum of Sting, carries the knee to the ribs.
What were WCW doing with Taker's Mean Mark Calloway? He was super green at the time, and they were just trying something. Didn't work, but, you know.
I feel that both these men are very, very evenly matched, and the elimination of errors as it progresses will be a key factor in the outcome. Windham now follows a stinger outside. We hate to see these things go outside. They need to be set in the lane. But Windham's going to take
JR is the purist, man. He's like, you got to get this back in the ring. We do not want to see these spill outside the ring. Do you remember your first Super Bowl? My first Super Bowl was, and it was a good one if you're a Giants fan, not so much if you're a Buffalo Bills fan. It was Super Bowl 25, I believe it was. It was Buffalo Bills and the Giants, and that was the famous game, the wide right. The field goal went wide right from Scott Norton, and the Giants were huge underdogs in that game with Jeff Hostetler as the backup quarterback starting. And we won that game, and that was my first Super Bowl. First one I remember watching. What about Rocky Johnson? Did they call him The Rock? Rocky Johnson? Or was he just Rocky Johnson?
Windham back in the ring. He is, even though he's only 27 years old, Barry Windham, 8 years in the sport. He knows his way around the ring.
Scott Norwood. I'm sorry. Wow. Wrestling and football. No. Scott Norwood. I'm sorry. Kicked the kick that went wide right. Sorry. Scott Norwood, not Scott Norton. Future member of the NWO. Yes, the kicker for the Bills went on to join the NWO and wrestle in Japan. Soul Man. That's right. He was Soul Man Rocky Johnson. Yeah, he wasn't The Rock. Well, it's about being number one. You're the U.S. champion, so doesn't that make you number two? Don't you want to go after Flair, get the number one belt? Sunset flip by Sting. I got him. One. No. Broke it off at one. Who was the Giants QB that year? Phil Simms was the starter initially, and he actually took us to 10-0 at the start of the season. So we were actually playing really well. Then he got hurt, and they had to put Hofstetler in. And people kind of wrote the Giants off and didn't think they could do it. But somehow, some way, they made it happen. I think the defense had a big part of that. And Hostetler's quarterback did very little fucking up, and that's all he needed to do. And played hard. I mean, he played well enough. Scott Norton was so ashamed of missing the field goal that he went to Japan and became IWGP champ to redeem himself. Who are your favorite Giants players? Mark Bavaro, who was our tight end during the 80s. I love watching clips of him. I would throw Eli Manning up there. He's my favorite quarterback we've ever had. I know he drives me nuts sometimes, but I would throw Eli Manning up there. Two. Some of my favorite Giants players. I always my favorite receiver we ever had was Amani Toomer. It's like that dude was well-behaved, didn't cause any drama, and quietly had a great career with us. Whenever I see Odell Beckham acting like a doofus, I'm just like, I miss Amani Toomer so much. And, of course, I have to say Michael Strahan. I mean, he was like our mascot as well as our greatest defensive player for years. I would say Lawrence Taylor, too. Oh, nice. That was a cool spot. Like, Barry Windham was, like, losing. He was, like, draped over the top rope, and he was, like, losing his balance and trying to get back in the ring, and Sting just lightly tapped him over the top rope. It was like a cartoon bit, but it was great. It's like Tweety Bird, the pitties. Who was the quarterback after that? Oh, God, I don't remember. We sucked. Well, actually, the season after the Super Bowl win, we had a quarterback controversy, and they kept going back and forth between Simms and Hostetler. And then after that, like, Simms retired, and I don't remember who took over. But those were down years for sure. What percentage of the main roster in the WWE do you think don't actually care about the product and are just there for the money? Oh, God, I have no idea. I'd say at least half. At least half. What do you think of Roethlisberger? I think he's a great quarterback. He's had a really great career. I wouldn't be surprised if he made the Hall of Fame. I know the rape allegations kind of tarnished his reputation a bit, but as a player, I think he's a damn good quarterback. World Series predictions? I want Orioles versus friggin' Nationals. Battle of the Beltway. And Barry Windham is busted open. He got busted on the ring post shot outside the ring. Come on, Sting. Oh.
Windham now for the last 7 minutes appearing to be out on his feet. He's reeled and he's staggered, he's stumbled, and he's fallen. But still, Stinger has not been able to put the shoulder to the mat.
Great drop kick by the Stinger, Windham down.
Are you a Washington Capitals fan? Yeah, I guess so. When it comes to hockey, I'll root for the Washington team. Because I've got family reasons for rooting for the Giants, and I was a huge Cal Ripken mark as a kid, so I always root for the Orioles. But when it comes to hockey, I have no personal affiliation with anybody, so all right, I'll root for the Washington team, even though they always blow it in the playoffs. Okay, Sting's got a sleeper hold on Barry Windham, and he's bleeding, so he's fading. Barry's fading.
On that sleeper hold as the referee checks the arm, and I think you're right, Jim. He sort of prepared himself. He was going to be certain that the Stinger didn't get him in that scorpion deathlock. This may be a surprise, and I think a very good move on the part of Sting.
We have to think that Sting was very aware of the big gloved right hand of Barry Windham and the claw. Conversely, Windham knows that the Stinger's coup de grace is a scorpion deathlock. And though others may try to imitate the deathlock, there is only one scorpion by the Stinger, and he's got it perfected.
Others may imitate the scorpion deathlock. Do you mean certain Hitman? Well, Hitman wasn't doing it at this point, but, you know.
He is truly concerned here. His champion now. Battered, beaten, brawled around the ring, staggering and reeling, and it could end any time for the United States champion.
Sting right back with a sleeper. Windham now trying to stay. He's trying to keep moving. He's trying to keep the blood flowing to his brain. To keep
Sting keeps going back to that sleeper hold, but Barry breaks out of it. Knee breaker.
Windham dropped the knee of Sting right across his own leg. It's pretty from the sleeper hold.
Desperate move by Barry. Did that hold work, Other Barry? It sure did, Other Barry. By the way, Barry's one of my favorite characters from Archer, in case you couldn't tell. Does that feel good, Barry? It sure does, Other Barry. Oh, now Sting's leg is hurt. Barry's going on the attack.
Attacked the leg. I thought Bobby's going upstairs a little bit, but now he's back working on the knee of Sting. Such a delicate part of the body.
The Seahawks were in the AFC? God, that was before my time, clearly. Yeah, I remember seeing footage of and seeing stats. The Cardinals were in the NFC, were in like our division, like what is now like the traditional NFC East. And it's so weird to see. It's like, all right, so it was like Giants, Redskins, Eagles, Cowboys, which are all the teams you expect, and then the Cardinals. And it's like, okay, one of these things, not like the other. One of these things doesn't belong. Okay, figure four locked in. But is Barry Windham just stealing all Flair's shit? He does the figure four. He does the face flop. Come on, Barry. Come on with your own crap. Dylan's cheating again. Fucking heels. A team from Arizona was part of the East. Yeah, it was a weird time. Well, I mean, how East is Texas? How East is Dallas? I mean, come on. It's bullshit. So I hate Dallas the most. Part of it is because you shouldn't even be in our division, you assholes.
You know, that may have been an error on Dylan's part right there. I don't know. Because if one may think that Stinger could have sustained a lot more punishment if he'd have been in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, Sting can't do many Stinger splashes with one leg.
This kid has. He wants to be a champion so badly that he can taste it. And he's trying to do everything he can now just to stand.
Yeah, Indianapolis is a South team apparently. Yeah. Back suplex.
Belly to back suplex. 6'6", 264, the United States champion. There's the challenger. As we said, this Thanksgiving will be he will celebrate his 3rd year in the sport. And can anybody name a man that in 2 years has made the impact that the Stinger has in professional wrestling? And look at him fight back.
Here he goes. Come on, Sting.
The stakes are high here in prime time.
If this was WWE, they tell Sting to hit the splashes and run even though he has a hurt leg. Yeah, probably. Oh, he's got the iron claw on the pec muscle, but not on the face, which is where it's most devastating.
And there you can see a great camera shot there. And have some great shots all night. Right there you can see he's burying those hands.
Ooh, that actually looks painful.
They're so far in the flesh of the Stinger.
It's like, I made the joke about Molaram, cover your heart, Sting. It's like, this is actually pretty close to it itself.
Before now, and I'm even more surprised that he hasn't put it right on their head. Because that's where he can really reach it in.
Would you take 10 big slaps to the chest from Big Show for $1,000? Oh, God. Probably. For $1,000, I'd probably do that.
Sting trying to get up, keep that circulation going. The pain's got to be shooting right through that arm. With the right hand, Henderson finds a home.
Come on, Stinger. Oh, flipped him outside the ring. That's one way to break a hold. It's like, God, my tit hurts, my leg hurts. Now Sting's going to suplex him. No, he's going to flip him into the ring. Very nice.
The table has turned. You can feel the momentum changing here. The momentum changing. And the United States Heavyweight Championship on the line.
Back body drop by Sting. Elbow drop by Sting. Another elbow drop.
And one more time. And Windham fighting his way up to his feet. This is a brawl. This is a fall brawl in itself.
Giant hip toss. Sting's back in it.
As they stand toe-to-toe and dish it out to each other. They both determined that he's not going to be the man to weaken.
Irish whip. Wyndham blocks it. Reverses. Sting just fell down. And Barry Windham kicked the referee by mistake. 20 minutes. Oh, Stinger splash. He did kind of like a half Stinger splash. He looked like he was going at half speed. Here we go. Scorpion Deathlock. And Dylan's got a chair, and Sting's like, Sting ain't having that shit. Sting is not having that shit. And a shot. I mean, he hit him with the cushion. It wasn't the best chair shot in the world, but.
James and Dylan days, but both men now trying to shake it loose. Can the Stinger shake? I believe in what we're seeing here.
1, 2. John Ayers. Oh! Wait, so the referee just believed John Ayers? That's bullshit. Sting just won by DQ. Sting just saved Ayers from getting... John Ayers is beating up J.J. Dillon. This is kind of wild. Okay. Do you react to the current product like this? Not really, to be honest. Not really. Did Sting use the Scorpion before Bret Hart used the Sharpshooter? Yes, several years before. Don't you just love it when they make up ref rules on the spot? Yeah. So there was quite a bit of that going on this show. It was a little strange. When you look at the Dusty and Sullivan match and then what happened there at the end.
John Ayers, as you say, big enough, strong enough to make a difference, and we know that he's honest to the core. And when that match takes place, the best man's going to win it.
Just could be the difference. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for Bob Cobb, I'm Jim Ross. We're going to send it back upstairs to Grandmaster's favorite wrestler, Ric Flair, and Tony Schiavone.
All right, we're going to close out with Flair and Schiavone, I think.
Program here tonight on the Superstation. We're talking once again the NWA World Heavyweight
Oh, it's just lovely to think that John Ayers comes here under the pretense of being a guest host and sticks his big nose.
I love it even more when the ref gets a small bump and is down for 5 minutes, right? Actually, there's a Saturday night's main event match coming up in 1990 that has a ref bump that was handled really, really well, and I can't wait to get to that match.
The world knows it. You're watching this show. The whole world's watching it. And let me tell you, Lex Luger, for all your awesome physical credentials.
I'm watching Flair be awesome.
I'm the world's heavyweight wrestling champion, and all that football notoriety means nothing. You gotta walk that aisle.
Walk that aisle.
To meet the very best. So you and John Ayers, talk it over. Make your plans. Hunt Jim Crockett on the neck. But the bottom.
Oh, yeah, Mania 17, the referee was out for like 10 minutes. It was ridiculous. It's like, at that point, it's like nobody sent medical attention out there. Seriously? Woo! Close out with one great Flair promo.
We remind you to join us at 6:05 Eastern Time for 2 hours of World Championship Wrestling coming up.
What's Flair's eyes do? His eyes are like darting back and forth. I just snorted cocaine right before doing this promo, and now I don't know what to do.
Jim Ross, I'm Tony Schiavone. Have a good night, everybody.
Woo! Okay, we are through yet another Clash of Champions. And okay, I'm just getting caught up on the. Was there any promo in the 80s where Flair wasn't yelling at the top of his lungs? Like what, in the 80s? Like just in the 80s? Like when is Flair not yelling at the top of his lungs? But anyway, okay, so Clash of Champions 3, the Fall Brawl. Oddly enough, the final NWA Clash of Champions. After this, they would kind of transition into the WCW side of things. Let's just exit out of that. And overall, I enjoyed the show again. I thought it was pretty damn good. Really liked the first two matches. Very good basic matches for what they were trying to do. A really good title match to open up the show. Really good tag match between the Sheep Herders and Dr. Death and Nikita Koloff. I thought the chain match was solid. And the angle they did afterwards was well executed and brutal and everything. And I thought the main event between Sting and Barry Windham for the US title was good. My problems with the show, I didn't like the Dusty Sullivan match because the referee's rules made no sense. Sullivan was hiding the foreign object from the referee, implying to me that's okay, there are disqualifications. But then Dusty just used the spike right in front of the referee and there was no DQ. So I really don't like those inconsistencies in the rules. And him pinning Gary Hart to get the win to me was completely stupid. And I hate that type of booking, and I hated that. So that was the one match I didn't enjoy. And then in the main event, I didn't like that little detail with John Ayers telling the referee that Sting was hit with a chair, and then the referee just believing him and going for it. And now, if it had been established that John Ayers was like an outside enforcer for that match, as like a preview to the Sting or to the Flair Luger match that they were building up to, I would have been okay with it. But John Ayers was just there at ringside. I'm like, what the hell is he doing in the ring? So the referee just believed him. Okay. And Sting wins by DQ. I'm like, all right. I'll say this, at least it was good to see the heel, even though he saved his title, it was nice to see the heel upset that he just got cost a match. Because normally, like, heels, they get DQ'd and they're like, yeah, look what I did. It's like, yeah, you still lost, and Sting gets the winner's cut of the pay, so joke's on you, buddy. But, I mean, even though he did save his title here. But, yeah, overall, I thought Clash of Champions was pretty good, despite the problems I had with it. It really was just the one match and one, like, booking boo-boo in the main event. But overall, I thought the Sting-Barry Windham match was really good. Like the first two matches. I like the chain match. And just another pretty strong episode of the Clash of Champions. And like I said, Saturday night's main event I thought was a very fun show, and I think it's worth checking out, if for nothing else, for the Hogan Funk match. And everything else on it was mostly solidly entertaining, and it was a nice, brisk viewing. So, yeah, two good shows. Really enjoyed it. And if nobody else has any questions, I'm ready to get out of here. Thank you. Yeah, much. Yeah, thanks for the feedback. Greatly appreciated. Glad you all seem to be enjoying the series. I'm really enjoying doing them. I feel like you guys are getting to see a different side of me rather than me being the cold and, analytical wrestling fan that reviews all the wrestling shows. I'm like, no, you get to see me like marking out for shit I actually like. So that is good. But that is all I have for you right now. Y'all enjoy your St. Patrick's Day weekend. I actually have a 4-day weekend from work. So I get tomorrow off. I get Sunday off. And my company gives us as a benefit, gives us our birthday off. And my birthday's on Tuesday. So I said, fuck it. I'm just going to take PTO on Monday and just give myself a 4-day weekend. So awesome stuff all around. So I'm going to have fun this weekend. But one thing you will be getting from me, I apologize for not having the latest WrestleMania MVP LVP video up. I wanted to get that up today, but things got kind of screwy. I hate doing my taxes. Let me put it that way. I hate doing my taxes. And that kind of took up some of my time this week. But I should have that up by either Monday or Tuesday. Tuesday being my birthday. So you might get a video from me on my birthday. So be on the lookout for that. But you will definitely get it. And the next What Went Wrong is going to come out sometime next week as well. So a couple videos coming out next week. Hope you all enjoy them. And that's all I have for you now. So happy Friday and have a good one.